Hello. What's up this afternoon, everyone? Welcome. Fine Tuesday to you all. Good to see ya. What is up, Seaplane Deusta? Darvicious? Deusta, again. Orazi, Lucid. How is everyone doing today? J-Bo McBooties, Kazakhs. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super cheer for you. I've gotten over it. I felt bad, but I feel less bad now. I feel less bad, but that was a super fun match. The viewer battle stream was super fun. So, oh my goodness, is that I don't even know what to say. This is a set I've been most excited for all year, and it seems like Wizards pulled out every single stop. So, I know, there is maybe bad news. If you just, scroll through the first couple days of spoilers, there's not a ton that sticks out as, obvious modern staples. That is for sure. Grief, I think, is probably the best modern card we've seen. Rego, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. Thank you. Obviously, Veteran Reprint is huge. Maybe Fractured Sanity and Mill, Thrasta, who knows? Maybe you can reanimate a Sarah's Emissary. So there's some stuff that has potential, but oh my goodness, this has some of the coolest card designs I have ever seen, period, in Magic's history. Irish Rager, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super cheer for you. I don't even think it's Commander Masters. It's like Unset Masters. So many, when I saw Garth, see if you agree with this. When I saw Garth the first time, I didn't really believe it was a real card. When I first saw Garth, I thought it was a fan-made card. It was like something from one of the fan-made Reddits. And it wasn't until I actually read the article on the mothership with them talking about the card that I believed that it was a real Magic card. It just seems like something a fan would make. It doesn't seem like a real card. It's not busted, but it is just such a weird, cool, unique design. And Grist is another one. A Planeswalker that you can get with Collected Company. Just far out stuff. Ooze Storm. Who would have thought there'd be new Storm cards? And we'd be storming off with oozes. Basically, empty the Warrens for oozes. Dirty Danchez, welcome to the Fishbowl. And Bluminator, thank you so much for your subscription. Big super cheer for you. But this set is Squirrels. Squirrels, another traditional unset thing. This set's insane. This set is absolutely absurdly insane. So I am over the top hyped about this set. It is so cool. So we will talk about spoilers as we go along. Definitely down to talk about Horizons 2, what we like, what we don't like. I'm sure there will probably be spoilers as we're going along. If you notice spoilers during the stream, let me know and we'll talk about them as we're going along as well. I am the guy you know. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super cheer for you. Thank you. Hey, MTG Goldfish. When did the moment happen when you look yourself in the mirror and said, hey, Goldfish, we're going to be famous Magic card players and be inspirational to Magic players across the globe? That has never actually happened. That has never actually happened. The opposite is actually what happens. When I look in the mirror, I think, how in the world did any of this happen? How amazingly lucky am I? And how amazing is this community that that's even a thing that could possibly happen? So, we have a new donation from Lucid! $5 donation. I'm in the set as Lucid Dreams. Ooh, you're finally on a Magic card, and you have very good art. That is awesome. Thank you for the donation, Lucid. North Korea, Best Korea, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super cheer for you. Yes, I got the Altered Painter Monicon. I did. Thank you. But yeah, I got some stuff I still gotta go through mail-wise, but it is here. Definitely super sweet. I would ask you for your autograph if I ever saw you. Well, I would be happy to autograph something for you when we get there. So anyway, what are we doing today? What do we got? We have, of course, spoiler discussion, but as far as Magic, we're Mana Tithing. We're Mana Tithing, of course. The plan for today is pretty simple. Mana Tithe people talk about spoilers. There were 2 new decks that I found that are playing Mana Tithe, and we often say no one expects the Mana Tithe. Of course, no one expects the Mana Tithe, but these decks, I feel like, make you even less expectant of a Mana Tithe. Charlie Strike, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big soup cheer for you. Hey, what's up, Grabs? How are you? This deck, this is a Niv deck. This is a 5-color Niv Mizzet Reborn deck, and the only card that is mono-colored, the only card in the entire deck that is mono-colored is Mana Tithe. People usually don't expect a Mana Tithe anyway. No one ever is going to expect a Mana Tithe out of 5-color Niv as the only mono-colored card. Like, that's not going to happen. So we're going to get people good. Also kind of excited that we get, like, a bunch of commands. We get Prismari command. We have Kalia in this deck. Kalia to find our Niv, I guess, to draw more commands, and then Mana Tithe more things. So that's what we're going to start out with. It looks super fun. There's also a Jeskai spell deck that caught my eye. So on one hand, we do have Lore Hold. We do have some extra turn spells. On the other hand, we got Mana Tithes. We have a free-to-flame painters. We have Magdas. So a really, like, kind of spicy take on, I don't even know, Jeskai spells. So we got extra turn shenanigans, but we also just have this weird stuff and Mana Tithe to top it off. So that is the plan, along with talking about spoilers. But we're starting with Niv, I think. I am a little addicted to Mana Tithe. Just a little. It's just such a cool card. It's such a sweet card. Hey, what's up, Kithril? How are you? Good to see you, good to see you. But first, some quick reminders before we start playing Magic. Replay YouTube, that's where you'd find all the old streams, including this one in the future. Hey, what's up, Doug? How are you? Normal YouTube, of course, tons of spoiler stuff. Modern coming up tomorrow for Against the Odds. Legacy coming up for Butcher Brew. People are still enjoying Legacy for some reason, so we're going to keep playing it because I have also been enjoying Legacy. So tons of stuff coming up on the YouTube shorts, all that good stuff. A reminder that our sponsor today is Card Kingdom, and maybe you're seeing all these sweet new Modern Horizons cards, and you're like, I gotta get some of that. Well, you can get them over at cardkingdom.com. Even get a free MTG Goldfish sticker. Let them know you want one, they'll hook you up, and they even got, I don't know, art-signed World Tree. I didn't even know you could sell these cards. You can sell a signature World Tree art card for $2. That's good to know, but you can get that and more over at cardkingdom.com. Otherwise, merch page, tokens, t-shirts, playbats. Hey, what's up, Starman? Good to see you. Good way to support the stream and the channel and the site. Donations, always appreciated, never required. $2 or more gets your message read on stream. So let's play some Magic and talk some Modern Horizons. So yeah, I want to know. Actually, we should talk about the deck first. So this deck, I mean, we're playing it because of Mana Tithe deck. Also because I like Niv. Also because Kalia is a weird card that doesn't really see play. But what are we trying to do with the deck? I mean, we're Mana Tithing things to get to Niv. Niv, gonna draw us a bunch of cards because we have a ton of dual color cards. Kalia can find us our Niv, doesn't find much else. And then hopefully, with all of our Niv cards, we can burn our opponent out of the game, I guess. Attack with Niv, maybe make some spears with Lore Hold command. We got a Scarab God. In the sideboard, bunch more multicolor cards for the most part. Bunch of sweepers, removal, discard, couple of memory lapses, not multicolor, but close enough. So that is our first deck, Mana Tithe Niv action. We have another new donation from Dan Wildfire. Did you see the video series I started? I made that for people like you who are curious about the lore behind Forgotten Realms. I have not, Doug. You'll have to send me a link. I have not seen that at all. That sounds like a really cool series idea, actually. I am curious about some of the lore. I would watch a short video on like the lore of specifically the cards that are coming in Forgotten Realms. Like, I don't care about D&D lore that isn't. Oh no, Sparky. That isn't part of Magic, but if it's coming in Magic, I would definitely watch a video. All right, we're just gonna concede this. Yeah, thank you for the donation, Doug. Hey, what's up, BG? How are you? Good to see you. Good to see you. So what's your number one card? What is the number one card so far, chat, that you've seen from Modern Horizons? Just your personal favorite. It doesn't even have to be a good card. Just like, what are you most excited for? What are you most excited for that that you've seen from the set? There's so many cool cards. Like, that's the challenge, is there's so many cool cards that it's really hard to narrow it down. Like, there's like 20 cards from this set that are just so cool. At least. And we're only like 2 days into spoiler season. Oh, the new sword is sweet. I'm so happy. I'm so happy that the new sword is good. The swords from Modern Horizons 1 really disappointed me. They weren't good. And swords are so iconic, and they need to be good. Like, I don't know. I was very disappointed Very disappointed by Modern Horizon 1 swords. But Sword of Hearth and Home, that card's legit. If you want my crazy prediction, I think the Sword of Hearth and Home is going to be the most played sword in Commander. Like, literally #1 overall most played sword. Over Fire and Ice, over Feast and Famine, over, you pick a sword, over Body and Mind even. Move over Body and Mind. But I actually think that sword is going to be incredibly good in Commander. Well, we got a lot of ways to kill things, which is nice. I mean, it's Sword of the Animus, but with a ton of upside. Like, and Sword of the Animus is already already very heavily played. All right, Graph Digger's Cage. Opponent does not want to lose to something. I mean, we don't actually care about Graph Digger's Cage, I don't think, but kill that. Oh, sword's good, so good. Feast and Famine is better. I don't think it is. I don't think it is. I think it's going to be the #1 overplay. So here's my argument. You want the argument for it? Let's go to EDH Rec real quick. Go to EDH Rec, and actually, let me see if I can find this. Most played equipment, EDH. Let's see. Let's look at this. Let's look at this page. The top 100 equipment page on EDH Rec. Here is my argument for the new sword, Sword of Hearth and Home, being the #1 overall sword. That is, if you look at the most played equipment. 1, 2, 3, 4, #5, Sword of the Animist. Sword of Hearth and Home is essentially an upgraded Sword of the Animist, in my opinion. The first actual sword is Feast and Famine. That is the current #1, but that actually ranks several slots behind, and even if you go to the past 2 years, that's still true. This isn't just something that happened in the last couple of weeks. Sword of the Animist, Sword of Feast and Famine, Sword of Fire and Ice. I think we're going to see Sword of Hearth and Home somewhere up in this range. Probably not buying boots. Like, the top 3 are really good. Maybe 4 with Sunforger, but I really think that it's going to be somewhere. Oh my god, are we timing out already? Yes, we are, aren't we? All right, we'll play. Oh no, do we time out? What's going on? Okay, we'll take one. I think we skipped our turn talking about commander cards, didn't we? That's awkward. We are playing a deck that likes to hit its land drops. The expensiveness is a reasonable argument. The argument that that's a lot of dorks. That's a nymph though. I'll play this past the turn. Ooh, I'm a little worried. Skipping that turn is going to be a problem. Okay. Sure. Hits us. Ooh. Hey, what's up, Cordius? How are you? Good to see you. Opponent, combat. Attacks with the Soul Scar Mages. Hits us. Shocks us. Oh. Bone Crusher Giants us. We will counter that. We still take a ridiculous amount of damage. Opponent says nice for some reason. Oh no. Oh, so punished. Yeah, missing that turn is going to make us lose. I'm doing well, Cornelius. How are you? Opponent goes to combat. Yeah, I mean, kill his whole Scar Mage. Oh. Well, we learned a good oh my god, another lightning strike. Well, we learned a good lesson about the importance of not skipping our turns. Yeah, I mean, black, white, red. We don't even have green mana. Yeah, all right. Well, ooh, the turn skipping totally lost us that game. Hey, what's up, Zogs? How are you? All right. This time we will not skip our turns, and I think we can very easily beat this deck. So, I don't even know if we sideboard much. We could bring in a little bit more removal, I guess. Opponent drew a lot of 1-drops. Vraska might be okay. What is actively bad? Decisive Denial, Lightning Helix. I mean, we just have so many answers to what our opponent's doing. If we're making our land drops and playing our stuff on time, we should be able to win pretty easily. Seamstress, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Can we talk about each opponent trying to add mill cards recently? The new mill spell is potentially 3 mana mill 42 cards across 3 players. Yeah, I mean, I think that is essentially Wizards. Well, the mana's not looking great, but we are a 5-color deck. If we get to 6 lands, the mana gets better. I feel like that's more cards we can't cast. I mean, Pulse would be fine as just additional removal, I guess. We really need to hit other colors of mana. Opponent goes attacking. Lightning Helix is insane. Well, got him. Counter number 1. Out of here, Bone Crusher. Alright, that's mana of additional colors. We will accept it. Opponent says nice to anything. Like, you counter a single spell and they're all nice about it. Opponent goes attacking. Cast another Bone Crusher Giant. Cast the Shock. Alright, opponent dumping the whole hand to Reno. I'll play this. Mana's still really clunky. You know what? We're going to Prismari Command, kill and treasure, and leave up our Mana Tithe. Alright. And leave up our Helix, technically. Yeah, the Tithe counter, it'll be coming. I'm worried about losing to skipping our turn again. So I'm worried about fiddling around too much with stuff like that and then losing another game to skipping our turn. Opponent, Bone Crusher Giant. Passes. Well, we'll pay Niv. 3 cards is not bad. Get some cards, get a blocker, play the lad. We can gain back 3 life with this Lightning Helix. We're close, we're close, we're close. Is Garth One-Eyes an against odds card? I think so. It's not an actual like modern playable card as far as like tournament level. So I think against the odds it'll be its most likely home. All right, we are perfectly fine with this. If our opponent's gonna throw burn at our Niv, we will take it. Could use more lands. Mr. Foxpaws, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super cheer for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, let's see if we can actually get this counter. Close. What are we doing? Chat, figure out what we're doing this turn while I try to have this counter here. Save me, chat. What are we playing? Nah, close enough. Maybe we just pass again. Pass and lower hold command. That probably makes the most sense. Gaining back life seems good. I mean, I don't know how our opponent beats this hand, honestly. We can gain 6 life. We have multiple counters. Like, I don't know how our opponent gets out of this. Well, I guess that's the way to get out of it, isn't it? Okay. Opponent gonna go attacking. Well, we will lore hold command, Helix, and chump blocking token. Go up to 12. Block. Black, red. We need a land to get out another Niv to block, I think. Black, green. Ugh, that's not a land. These world trees are killing us. The world trees are absolutely wrecking us here. All right. What is our pathway forward? Our pathway forward is drawing a dang land. I don't feel like Jingatha does anything. Like, we get Jingatha and it's just going to have to chump block Hazoret, so it doesn't do anything. Munas! Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, alright. There goes several lands past the turn. We have a new donation from Alexander. Hey, Seth, first time watching your live stream. I just want to say thank you for all the budget magic decks that you do. They've helped me a lot in all your content you create. You're the best. Well, Alexander, welcome to the stream. And thank you for the donation and for the kind words. Definitely appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Quirtip, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you for your subscription. Big super over here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, we need a... All right, opponent kills it, gets in. Can we draw a land? Survey says yes. All right, thank the magic gods. All right, so we get down Niv, which is big enough to block Hazoret. Vanishing Verse, that is an answer that we've been looking for. Okay, there we go. Now we're in business. Sadly, I think, do we have to take one out of our Mana Tithe counter if we discard it to hand size? Because I think it is definitely the correct card to discard here. Okay. As long as there isn't some weird disaster here, we should be stabilized. Bonded Courier. Sure. Opponent attacks. We will block Hazoret. Go to 6. We got negative. I don't want to -1 it, though. Yeah, versus absolutely perfect here. I mean, our opponent just has so much mana that it doesn't really do anything at this point. It's hard to imagine Mono Red casting a, 7-drop or something and us getting it. All right, there's the lands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana. Our mana's perfect now, too, so we will... Vanishing versus Hazoret. Get it out of here. Step 1. Oh, threat answered. Tap land. We're not even gonna attack. We're gonna play this super conservative. Pass the turn. About it. We need a discard tithe counter. About it. Wow, gonna cash in the Ramenamp Ruins. Well, let's Helix our opponent's face. We're gonna be at 7. All right, let's kill the courier. Down to 7. I think if we wait one more turn, there's no way we can lose. I'm doing well, Azenbull. How are you? Opponent, double Bonded Courier. I feel like if we attack here, there's some percent chance that we lose. But I feel like if we wait one more turn, then we're essentially guaranteed to be good. Double Bonded Courier is a scary combination of draws. You know, we will block opponent. Yeah, we wouldn't gain the life if we tried to Helix it. Well, all right. I mean, the decisive denials have been fine. Courier, opponent sacks, discards a land. Sure. Helix your face. And opponent, okay. When we're not skipping our turns, life goes much better. Bonded Courier, what card is that, Seth? From Kaladesh. Yes, it is Bomat Courier. That's not a mispronunciation. That's a... I don't know, Sethism? A meme? I say it that way because I think it's funny. But yes, that's not an actual mispronunciation. Oh, all right. That went well. That went pretty well. Good, good, good. Decent. I mean, I don't think Dovin's veto is bad. I don't think it's bad. Why is there Samet in this deck? Samet's odd. Huh. Huh. Memory lapse? That doesn't seem great. Well, we'll bring in the Pulse and go down. We'll go down a veto. We'll go down one veto. Run it like that. Veto's okay. Like, it hits some of the big non-creature spells, the burn spells, but... Burglar Rat? I also like, the Bugler Rat. We'll keep. Tonkatonk! Tonkatonk! It's fun to say! It's fun. I put a lot of value in how it's if it's fun to say a word in a certain way. And Tonkatonk is just, it's fun to say. It's fun to say. You could Goryo's Vengeance Graph and get 3 mana. Oh boy. Wow. Sweeper, please. Oh, no, 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 no. They hit a Helix. Oh, sweet mother. All right. Well, Burning Tree Emissary going off. I mean, we're almost certainly losing this now. Wow, that is not the start we want to see from our opponent's deck. I really dislike Burning Tree Emissary. It's so, you gotta be joking me. You gotta be kidding me. You know, it'd be good if they stopped stealing our best cards. Yeah, well, that was fun. Oh. What do you think about Burning Tree Emissary at Historic? Like, do you think that Burning Tree Emissary should even... I don't know. That's one of those weird ones where they banned it and then they unbanned it. It's just... I hate the swinginess of it. Like, that's what we saw in that entire matchup. Like, Burning Tree Emissary, Robber of the Rich are 2 cards where it's like, if you're on the play... They're almost unbeatable unless you have like a very specific answer. And there's definitely been a lot of games where people have 2 or 3 Burning Tree Emissaries in hand. Robber of the Rich is the same way. Robber of the Rich is like pretty bad if you're on the draw, but if you're on the play, it's really good. That game our opponent just had, they were on the play and happened to have both of them, and that was it. That was it. It does seem like people have double Burning Tree Emissaries way more than statistically they should. Although I think if you look at the math on it, the numbers are not as bad as you would probably expect, in all honesty. Yeah, free spells. There's a few groups of cards throughout Magic's history that tend to always end up getting banned and causing problems, and free spells are pretty high up on that list, I would say. Well, Mana Tithe 2, tap land, go. Is this Boggles? Probably Boggles. Definitely Boggles. Well, Mana Tithe 3. Let's get our Mana Tithes while we can. that was reasonable. Black, red, white. All right, yeah, let's do some Callieing. Niv, please. All right, there's a Niv. Well, we just need a land. One more land, and it's Niv time. Oh, that was some good countering. Opponent kills Kalia, sure, whatever. It has done its job. Ooh, we can use... Oh, this is going to work. Unless our opponent has Thoughtseize, we can use Prismari Command to make a treasure. Alright, sure. they do have the Thoughtseize. They take the Niv, predictably. Gets Luris. Opponent passes. Well, next Niv we draw is going to be able to come down right away. Wiley, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super cheer for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Opponent runs out Luris. I mean, we just kill Luris, and then we kill Saram. This doesn't actually do... Well, we're never going to cast Saram. Alright. Well, I guess if they also... Okay. Discard, discard. Niv, 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 Niv. We need a Niv. I mean, get a Jengatha. Jengatha's something. Tap, let go. At least it's a body. I mean, 5-color Niv is super fun. There's a Spirit Dancer. There's an exiled Spirit Dancer. And opponent doesn't like their stuff being killed, apparently. Scurries away into their little boggles hole. Yeah, Jengatha... I guess one of the things about this deck is we don't actually have many threats. We have Kalia, which doesn't really count. We have Niv, which is really good, and then a Scarab God. But if our opponent can keep Thoughtseizing our Nivs, ooh, that is a little rough. That's a little bit rough. B-Dogs, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super cheer for you. Our opponent, they were over it very quickly. Solar Blaze seems like a good way to kill massive boggly creatures. Well, does it kill massive boggly creatures? I don't know if it does, actually. It would kill a Luris. Is that actually enough? Do you think that Crossus is still good in Historic? I'm actually not sure. We're in such a weird state of upheaval with mystical archives and bannings that it's actually really hard to say. Would Library of Lang be playable in Historic? What does Library of Lang do? If you discard a card, you can put it on top of your deck? Is that... You have no maximum hand size. If an effect causes you to discard a card, discard it, but then you put it on top of your library instead of in your graveyard. No, I don't think so. Maybe, like, if it was going to be playable, it would be in a combo deck that was, like, really worried about Thoughtseize. But I don't think, in general, it would actually see a meaningful amount of play. Veto's a little sketchy. Yeah, Veto actually seems not very good. I guess we're just all removal. Tons of removal. Draw us an Niv, please. Conspiracy Theorist could kind of work, except if you get Thoughtseize on your opponent's turn, you can't cast, unless they take an instant, you can't cast what they take, right? Yeah, alright, we'll keep this. No mana for the Mana Tithe yet, but... Sensei's Divining Top, I don't know if it would be too strong for Historic, but it would be probably too annoying. If you think that some players play slowly now, wait till those players are spinning Sensei's Divining Top. I mean, that's the main reason I got banned in other formats. Silverbox, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super cheer for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Opponent. Ether Vial, I can see a... Oh no, no white mana still. Ether Vial, I can see an argument for. I feel like Ether Vial, it would be very strong, but is it stronger than the stuff that was dumped in the format with Mystical Archives? Brainstorms, Faithless Looting, Tainted Packs? I don't know that it actually... Oh dear, that's a lot of threats. I don't know that it actually is. Opponent. The lack of white mana is bad news. Opponent hits us. This isn't looking good. The way to beat this deck is to make sure they never stick one of these cards, and they stuck 2 of them, and now they're drawing cards, and the snowball is, oh my god, 3 of them! The snowball is impossible to keep up with. Hey, Philidolon. Tapland. Opponent goes attacking. Well, that is a Niv. Well, Vraska. Kill a Spirit Dancer. Hope we don't die. They already added Felidar Guardian. What? What a draw. Good God. Opponent had 4 of their 8 payoffs to their top 10 cards. Oh, well, this is just a draw that's, that is, yeah, I mean, we'll see what we draw for our turn, but I think this draw beats probably every deck in the format several times over. Well, yeah, 3 damage. Pass the turn. Well, Felidar Guardian, though. Felidar Guardian has already been banned across multiple formats because of its combo with Saheeli. So, it makes sense why that would not be a card that would go into the format. We don't actually... Oh my goodness. All right. We're just going to pretend like that game never happened. That was our deck running at its worst possible form, and our opponent drawing every payoff. Good golly. All right. So we'll just pretend like that one didn't happen. Maybe we bring in one more Clarion on the play. Oh, awesome, Doug. I will, can you also email it to me? And I'll try to give it a look after the stream. I mean, personally, if I had my choice, we would be banning Saheeli and leaving Felidar free, because Felidar is a sweet card. Like, Felidar is a cool, just like value blink card. I really like Felidar Guardian as a card. Saheeli doesn't do anything outside of the combo. So I think Wizards' reason is they don't want to ban a chase. Oh, how do I always have 3 of those in hand? Well, at least the Tithe counter is ticking up. Us is the 1 land. If we draw land, we win the game hand, though, I think. I'll take the Spirit Dancer. We'll keep the World Tree. I mean, I guess we can answer the first one with a Vanishing Verse. Opponent does not draw the land. Punish them. Oh, opponent. All right, does draw the land. Saram, which we will kill. I'll play a land. Niv's coming. Niv's coming. Niv is almost here. Yeah. Oh, another land. Opponent is getting very rewarded. Very, very. Kaya's goes for him. Wow. All right. Green, red, blue, black, blue, white. Well, Niv it. Niv it, Niv it. Please don't be scared. Well, actually, not the best Niv. We only got 2 cards. That's a pretty disappointing Niv, honestly. Maybe we do need Ephemerates to go with Niv. Maybe that is the solution. Cartouche. Opponent draws a card. We gotta find a way to get rid of this Throm. Sentinel's Eyes. Draws a card. Mire's Grasp. Draws a card. Goes attacking. We cannot block. We are dying. I'll go to combat, attack you. Play another Niv. Hope that this one is better than the last. Alright, slightly. That's a little bit better. Heading in the right direction, I would say. Play the tap land. Discard Jingatha. Oh, but they're untapping with the Saram. Hey, what's up, Moody? How are you? Does Grist work in the as a commander? It does. It didn't, according to the rules, but Wizards changed the rules, and it does, or the rules committee changed the rules, and it does now work as a commander. All right, well, step 1. No Srams. Step 2. Lightning Helix Sram. Wow, opponent just let it go. Well, go to combat. Attack you. I'm surprised they let that go. Vanishing Verse is so good. Vanishing Verse is the card that is kind of keeping us in this game at the moment. I'll pass the turn. Our opponent can play Lures and get back Thram and try to do it again. There's Lurus. Oh, we have so many things that we have to answer while they play a Spirit Dancer. Okay. Oh, this is interesting. This is very interesting. So I think we counter this. Well, no, how can we get out from under this pile? Just go for the win. Well, I guess we can. Niv is a clock. I guess we can just let them go off and then win by attacking and not worry about their dorks. I guess that also makes sense. Opponent goes attacking. We will take it. Mega treasure. All right, Boggles. All right, Boggles. That was a good try. Well, treasure you. Yeah, I guess our deck has a lot of burn in it. Enough that we can just actually kill our opponent. I'll go to combat. Attack you. Hopefully there's no sneaky reach. Opponent. To 1 and then Helix. Mystical Archive. Oh, all right. On the winning track. That was pretty good. That was pretty good. And we've gotten a lot. We're averaging 2 Mana Tithes a match, which is, we gotta get out of gold. Oh my god, which is pretty good. I think that's a pretty good pace, I would say. So, chat, what do you think about Modern Horizons 2 having so many cards that don't seem to be focused on Modern? That's been a big conversation that has been going on, and I think it's an interesting one. I think if you look at Modern Horizons 2, as I mentioned before, this set has some of my favorite designs Wizards has ever made. Like, seriously, Grist is so sweet, Garth is so sweet, Ooze Storm, like, there's so many cool designs, but it is called Modern Horizons, and if you had, like, think of it this way. What if this said Commander Legends 2? What if that was a product name? If it was Commander Legends 2, and you started looking through this spoiler, and you saw Legendary Storm Ooze, a Planeswalker that in a weird way works as your commander, Chitterfang, a Legendary Squirrel, Garth, would you blink an eye? Like, would you even question for a moment if the set was called Commander Legends 2? I don't think that we would, honestly. I wouldn't question it. And I don't think this is a, I think that people who are like too focused on there being commander cards in the set are a little silly. every set's a commander set now. Like, every set is a commander set. Every set that they make, standard, Modern Horizons, you name it, if it's a set, it's going to have cards that are for commander in it. So I think that expecting Modern Horizons to not have any good commander cards, I think that that is absolutely silly. On the other hand, I do think there's some weight maybe to from what we've seen so far, and that's the big caveat, is we're on day 2 of official spoiler season. But I do think that people who say it looks like this has a lot more commander stuff than modern stuff, I don't think that that's really off base from what we've seen so far. And again, it's very early in spoiler season. It could be that it's gonna look much differently. Missed a sub. Oh, my apologies. Who did I miss a sub from? I will go back and look. Oh, Makiri? Makiri! My apologies for the 40th month. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. Thank you. I don't know if someone already mentioned it, but I can't believe that Richard didn't notice that Lolth deals 8 damage because she's the Spider Queen. Oh, that actually makes perfect sense. Spiders, 8 arms, legs, whatever. That is a good call. Where is Modern Horizons on here? Modern Horizons has to be here somewhere. Oh my god. Oh, I see. They used to be split up into multiple pages. So, do you think that the stuff is coming? The modern stuff is coming? Like, that's a question, because if you look at Modern Horizons 1, there's obviously commander cards. First Sliver, commander card. Morophon, commander card. I don't know. Those are big commander cards, I would say. But then there's also a lot of cards that have proven their worth in modern, and like Ren in 6, obviously not a commander card. Force of Negation, sure you can play it in commander, but it's not designed for commander. Or Seasoned Pyromancer, Hex Drinker. Maybe it's just the order that things have been spoiled makes things look a little bit more commandery. Maybe Modern Horizons was thought of to be too powerful, and Wizards is trying to make sure that nothing breaks, which I would appreciate. But what would be a good modern card that we've seen from the set so far? I mean, yeah, we mentioned that we're only on the second day of spoiler season. I mean, I think it's more than 10% of the set, but yes, it is still early in spoiler season. I mean, I think Grief is a modern all-star. Grief is the card that I would pick to be the most likely modern all-star that we've seen so far. I think that is not a card geared for commander at all. That is definitely a card made for 60 card formats, like Modern, like Legacy, etc., etc., etc. Priest. So I like Priest. I think Priest is sweet. I think the Unearth ability is definitely the most interesting part. I think that it's a cool card to get in your graveyard. I think casting it is not going to be very good, but if you can unearth it, it comes back with haste. That's actually really powerful, because it's got a little bit of the Magus problem. Maguses have not proven themselves to be very strong, because the Maguses, they gotta sit out for a turn, and they tend to die before they do anything. But the Unearth mode is a really good way to get around that. Wow, we got a new donation, a huge donation from Makiri, $50 donation. But Seth, Hogak was a fun commander build around. That is true. That was Wizards' goal with Hogak. So this isn't at all supposed to be a criticism of the set. Sanctum Prelate, I think, is going to be modern playable in like humans, maybe Coco decks. This isn't a criticism, and this isn't me being down on the set even a little bit, because like I said, I love this set, even though I haven't seen a ton so far that I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this in Modern. I have seen an amazing amount against odds cards. Like, an amazing amount of cards I'm going to play in Modern. We're going to play Squirrels in Modern. We're going to Ooze Storm. We're going to Garth. Like, I don't think those are going to be breaking tournaments or showing up at the top 8 of GPs or whatever, but oh my goodness, are they going to be so much fun to play with. So, asking the question about the Commander thing that people have been talking about was not in the least bit designed to be a criticism of the set, because I actually like this set more than Modern Horizons 1. Even though, as we talked about, we haven't seen a ton of stuff that jumps off the page for Modern right now, this has some of my favorite designs that Wizards has ever made in it. Like, literally in 26 years of Magic, the #1 designs that they have ever made. So I am unreasonably excited for this set. This set's so sweet. But I don't know, and I think it might just also be a product of how spoiler season has started. Maybe we've just seen more Commandery stuff first. Like, yesterday, most of the spoilers were dedicated to squirrels. Like, half of the spoilers. 5. Mana Tithe 5. Our Mana Tithe rate is so good. We're getting so many Mana Tithe. Mana Tithe per match is off the charts at the moment. I'll play this fest. Well, you know what? Let's get Jingatha. I don't know how this control match is going to go, but I do like the number of Mana Tithes we're getting. Yeah, not letting our opponent have Search for Escanta is a really big deal. Opponent. Tap land passes. Well, we draw more lands. Well, tap land, go. Well, if we can actually resolve a Niv, life is going to be sweet. I don't know what the odds of that are. Probably not very high, but... Oh, we do need a Mana Tithe emote. Listening to you on the Commander podcast, and you guys mentioned Commander Legacy Light. What do you think about time period Commander, i.e. modern legal Commander, etc.? I think it's fun things for playgroups to experiment with. I would be surprised if that actually, like, caught on to the extent where it was, you know, competition for Commander. Fun little combo with Gareth, Deadeye, Concordant Crossroads, Infinite Dragons. Yeah, I mean, if you, with Gareth and Deadeye Navigator in something that gives haste, you go infinite in, like, every way. You get to make infinite mana with the Black Lotus tokens. You can just win immediately with Brain Geyser if you want to target your opponent, or you can draw your entire deck. You make infinite Shivan Dragons. It is definitely really sweet if you can give it haste. Shouldn't we swap Solar Blaze for Kart's Wrath? Oh, Kaya's Wrath. Alright, sure. Counter our stuff, friend. Wow, they didn't counter it. They're just gonna kill it then, I guess. Okay. I mean, the real payoff is this Niv to refill our hand. Oh, yes, okay. Boom. We got so many lands, we gotta hit some cards here, please. Veto. Scarab. Oh, yes. And yes. That was a real Niv. Oh, that's what Niv can do. That was huge. That was absolutely huge. We will discard a land and a Deafening Clarion. Oh, Niv power. Kaya's Wrath is uncastable. I mean, we could make it work. We got the World Tree. With the World Tree, everything is possible. Expressive Iteration. Sure. Oh, yeah. That would be the problem with Kaya's Wrath. I don't know how much Jingatha matters, but that would be a cost. I mean, Jingatha was great there, baiting out the Sweeper. Another one? Well, okay. Wow, maybe our opponent's just going to do nothing, and we're... Whoa! Whew. That went way better than I thought. That went spectacularly. What do you think about Void Mirror? I actually think that Void Mirror is... I think it's got a shot as a modern sideboard card, but I think it might be worse than... It was worse than I initially thought. When I read it, I was like, wow, that's going to be really powerful. And then when I read it more... And the more I talk to people about it, the more it's like, oh, well, even Eldrazi-tron has Cavern of Souls, technically, and it seems like there's ways around it. So I think using it to master level baiting there, I mean, I guess I'm a master baiter. I feel like that's what you're trying to set me up for. But I saw usually you get me, chat, and you get me to say horrible things without me realizing it. I'm catching on. It only took 6 years of streaming. It only took 6 years of streaming, but I'm seeing through your ruses now, chat. I'm not as dumb as I look. Oh. Yeah, I think that Void Mirror is really so. I think it's not very good against colorless decks, actually, or not that good against colorless decks. But I think it is very good against free spell decks. I actually think that is its primary purpose. Oh my goodness! All right, can we sideboard without timing out, please? Probably go on Lore Hold Command. Opus, binding. Actually, I don't know if we need binding. 34 seconds. The clock is ticking. Discard good. Counters. I mean, we're Mana Tithe them. The Mana Tithe is not going out. I can tell you that right now. Maybe we go on a Kalia. Maybe a Vanishing Verse. Well, maybe a Helix. Maybe we keep the Kalia. Actually, Samet's kind of cute. No one expects Samet either. No one expects the Mana Tithe or the Samet. Alright, let's try it like that. Seth, you said some things about 4 years ago that were super questionable outside of context. Think Shadows of over Innistrad era. I have no... I mean, I know there's been plenty of times that chat's... I remember, I don't know how many of you remember Dixie, the abbreviated name, but we had one sub who had a name that was definitely adult themed, I would say, and I completely did not. I mean, I'm horrible at Twitch names anyway, but I definitely did the normal like sub shout out with the name, and then everyone was like saying stuff in chat, and I was just kind of like, what? And you like kept reading it because I didn't understand why everyone was like laughing and freaking out, but but yeah, so I've definitely the chat has definitely gotten me many times with things like that. No doubt about it. Oh. Memory Lapse in Modern. I'm actually surprised that it's not in Modern. The Juice Caboose! What up to you? Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. Thank you. I'm a little surprised we haven't got any spoilers yet. I figured we'd be getting more spoilers during the stream, but we haven't seen them yet. We do have a lot of counters, which is nice. Let's play this. Tapped. We're not gonna die in the near future. That's the good news. We're not gonna kill our opponent in the near future. Well, Esper Blink is such a fun archetype. I think that's one of my favorite decks we played in Historic, actually. Since we got the new additions, I think that's like #1. That's just so much fun. Oh my goodness, I forgot the Henty leak. Yeah. I 100% believe that it was accidental too. I really do. I really think that it was a mistake, copy and paste. Yeah. So what do you think? Ooh, let's counter this. Here's the other thing I want to ask you about, chat. So we saw Gareth. Would Phyrexian Delver be too good for Historic? I think it'd be fine. I think it'd be perfectly fine. Ooh, new preview. Haha. All right, we'll have something new to talk about. So here's the next question. So we were talking about Gareth, the insane new awesome card, the one that makes a Black Lotus token. Gareth can make a Black Lotus token. When I read this, the first thing I thought of was, wow, that's an awesome way for Wizards to get around the reserve list and make a proxy. They can make a Black Lotus token, and sure, it won't be a real Magic card. Sure, you can't play it in a tournament, but that's a way that you know, on your kitchen table, how's Wizards going to stop you from playing your Black Lotus token in whatever way you want to? They can't. They don't have any control over that. So that was the first thing I thought of. But then since Wizards came out, or Aaron Forsythe in specific, speaking for Wizards, said basically, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. We're not making a Black Lotus token. We don't make tokens of things with specific names like that. We've never made tokens of things that are copied. So I hate to spoil your, you know, rain on your parade or whatever, but it's not happening. Do you think there should be a Black Lotus token? And what do you think of that idea for making like semi-official proxies? Because I think that would be a great idea. The whole spirit of the reserve list, I guess, keeps getting in the way, but yeah, let's wait another turn. We can keep taking. Wow, so many vetoes. Play the Trio. Get Jengatha. Pass the turn. Opponent's got a handful of action. They're not making their land drops. Hopefully there's no more sharks. We don't have that much removal. We took out a lot of the targeted removal. That's more sharks. Sharks for days. How are you supposed to track your token in paper? I mean, I guess you'll... So I guess the difference... This came up on the Twitter conversation. So there is a token of a Johnny's Pride May. I guess the big difference is... let me see if I can pull up the token. So I guess the big difference is, according to the conversation, so if you look at like the Johnny's Pride May token, the big difference is it does not have a mana cost, so it's not a copy of a specific card. It's a token that is named a Johnny's Pride Mate and made by a Johnny's Strength of the Pride, but it is not technically a Johnny's Pride Mate, if that makes sense. It's a different card. Yeah, we're gonna get to the preview as soon as we finish this game. Well, Shark Treasure. We are at risk of getting sharked out of this game, which is not good. So apparently that is the distinction. Whether or not that opponent's going to Mystical Dispute. I mean, we need this. Okay. Pay. Ugh. We need these sharks to die. These sharks are killing us. Jaguar DTM. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Alright, well. Yeah, down to 10. Can we not die to sharks? I am not sure the answer is yes. Yeah, that's a lot of work to save a 2-2 shark. Although the 2-2 sharks are a legitimate clock at the moment. Bona goes to combat, gets in, hits us. Down to 6. Thought Erasure. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2. So we need Thought Erasure in 1 counter. Well, let's Thought Erasure. About it. No, I want to leave up Memory Lapse. In case they had like a Teferi or something that was just game over. Alright, opponent has Dovin's Veto. Alright, so opponent, they were missing land drops, and apparently they were just sitting on a handful of counters. You know, Shark Loot. Discard Jengatha. Discard. Memory Lapse. Pass the turn. Free Jazz. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We'll pass the turn. We'll leave up our veto. It felt like our opponent was out of counters. Hey, what's up, Dave? How are you? Good to see you. Good to see you. Opponent gonna hit us. This Helix is big. The Helix is big. A real heavy Z. Welcome to the fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right, no Teferis for you. Untap. Ooh. Helix the Shark. Untap land. Scarab God. Opponent desperately brainstorms. Okay, that's a Scarab God. The Sharks have been dealt with. Are we gonna have a chance? Found out that Hoffrey brings back entire Muse State decks, stacks from death. Ooh. I actually didn't realize that. That's really interesting. Well, veto it. Oh! Arena, how I hate you. Alright, we could have scryed there, and it would have been really good, but we will instead not scry. Teferi Part 3. So many Teferis.
I know my responsibility.
Opponent. Tug Scarab God. Well, we'll get back Jingatha. Oh, that scry would have been helpful. It would have been helpful. Mortality. Welcome to the fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super cheer for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Ooh, that's interesting. Well, play Vraska. Sack a land. Play World Tree. Kill Teferi. Yeah, if you don't get your stop in very early, it doesn't work. Oh my goodness. Really? Well, that is not good for us. I don't think we have an answer for that, do we? Well, there's a veto. Play a land. Play a lad. Oh, how can we beat a Dream Trawler? Hey, what's up, Berg Jared? How are you? Good to see you. Opponent draws a card. Really? All 4 Teferis is how this is going? The problem is we don't have creatures. We need a Niv. We haven't been able to find a Niv. Niv is the card that we need that we have not been able to find, and now there's a Dream Trawler, and we're running out of time. Opponent goes attacking. Ooh, they're going to hit the Vraska. Interesting. Okay. Well, we do get to scry. We're looking for Niv. Oh, no, they have another land. Well, we definitely do not want Dragon Skull Summit number 10. Or land number 10, 20, Kalia. Well, play Kalia. Opponent counters it. Take up Vraska. Sack a land. Play Kalia. That works. That works. Yeah, I mean, but we can't ultimate through the... We're not going to be able to ultimate through the Dream Trawler, though, is the issue. The good news is, we get to play this Niv off of our Jingatha Zombie, and that's where we want to be. Give us some goodies, Niv. Give us some goodies. Win this game. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Niv says. Alright, Thought Eraser, Decisive Denial. Good enough. Thought Erasure you. Take the Dream Trawler. To the bottom. I think we're getting there. I think we're getting there. Opponent draws a card. Grows their Dream Trawler. Our opponent's problem is Niv dying is good for us. Niv dying is great for us. If Niv dies, we get to get it back. If Dream Trawler dies, we get to get it back. Any of this stuff dying is wonderful. Unless they just top deck. Okay, Expressive Iteration. I mean, I guess if they find a Wrath, it's very awkward for the time being. Opponent. Digs. Memory Lapse. Another Expressive Iteration. Going as deep as possible. And opponent scoops it up. Whew. All right, enough Mana Tithes. All right, let's look at this new card. I heard there is a new spoiler. Aww. New spoiler. Not really a new card, technically. It's a reprint. Ayula Queen Among Bears. That was a good game for our deck. And we're out of gold. Thank the magic gods. Ayula's a sweet card. Ayula's a card that every time I play it, it's better than I would expect it to be, for sure. What do you think about the old border reprint slot? So it only shows up in collector's boosters, which is a little bit of a bummer, I think. It's going to make it hard for people to actually get. But they're all reprints. So I'm kind of okay with that. If you're going to make very exclusive cards like that, make them reprints of 50-cent cards like Ayula. It does look pretty sharp with the old frame, though. That is for sure. Is there an actual news? All right, let me go to the Reddit and see what we find. Ooh, there is a new card. Is it good? Oh, no, not even close. It's kind of funny. Kitchen Imp. Kitchen Imp. 4 mana, Flying Haze, Madness for 1. So, I mean, I guess it's not bad in a Madness deck. Not good if you were casting at full price. Full price, it's very not good. But, I mean, like Faithless Looting, Kitchen Imp, 1/0, 4 Kitchen Imps, 8 damage, haste. How you gonna beat it? So, I mean, maybe some sort of like Hollow One style shell could take advantage of it. Some sort of Madness deck. It is a common, which is maybe relevant for pauper purposes. But yeah, I mean, it's a cool common. I don't think it's I don't know. Maybe it's got a shot. 1 mana Madness is kind of impressive, but I mean, I think the Kitchen Figs is probably better than the Kitchen Imp overall, but I do like the card. It is a strong common for Pauper Unlimited, for sure. Is Madness an archetype? Like, is that the red-black archetype in the set? Could use it as zombie deck. Oh, was it a zombie? I didn't, no, it's just an imp. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I'd play an imp in a zombie tribal deck. I guess it depends on the exact build, but if it was a zombie imp. Oh man. So what's the best against odds card from the set so far, in your opinion? Ooh, and then we'll probably switch to the other Mana Tithe decks after this match. See what deck can get the most Mana Tithes. I don't know if we can keep this. We got a lot of cycling lands, but Shuffler. Well, alright. Our mana's good. We'll draw Niv. Refuel. I mean, the number of... Sure. The number of top-tier against odds cards in this set are high. The Ooze is top-tier against odds card. Grist, I don't know if that counts as against odds. Squirrels, top tier against the odds archetype, for sure. Garth, top tier against the odds archetype. Patriarch's Bidding, I don't know if that's against odds, but there are going to be sweet modern decks. We're going to play with that in it. Rise and Shine, I guess, theoretically could be an against the odds card. Thrasta could be a good against the odds card. People always love Mill for some reason. Maybe that's an against the odds option. Usury definitely gets odds option. So we drew another land. So there's definitely a ton of good against odds possibilities already in the set. Gold Shoulder. MH is looking so sweet. Welcome to the Visual. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big soup cheer for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Huh. Well, the lack of cards might be an issue. Tab land, go. I guess we should have played a white source, but it doesn't matter any. Wow, Dress in the main deck, huh? Interesting, interesting, interesting. Play the land, get Jengatha, so we got something to discard. Ooh, there's another new spoiler? Ooh. Oh, I see. I see, opponent. I see how it is. Well, we have infinite removal spells. We just gotta stop drawing lands every single turn. Alright, not yet. We have not yet reached the point of the game where we stop drawing a land every turn. Someday, it's gonna happen. Someday, some way, opponent gets in, hits us. Caboose! Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big soup cheer for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Alright, that's not a land. That is not a land. We will pass the turn. We need a Niv. We need a Niv. That is it. That is the bottom line. Well, we gotta kill this now or else it can grow. So get rid of the Velky. Does get our opponent closer to getting back Croxa. We get our 5/5 opponent. Niv, Niv, Niv. We need the Niv, we need the Niv, we need the Niv. Yeah, we'll look at the new spoiler momentarily. Once we go to sideboarding. Inscription of Ruin. Wow, opponent is like discard tribal. Alright, discard. Well, at least we have many discardable lands. Opponent passes. Jengatha. Go. Niv, Niv, Niv. We need a Niv. We always need a Niv. That's always the gonna take care. Wow, this is a discard deck. It's just a straight up discard deck. I see. Do they also have removal for Jengatha? Looks like yeah. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh, every bit, every bit. Helix not gonna help. That is a Croxa returning. Oh, they need red mana. Oh, they drew the red mana. No. Wow. Oh, no. No, no, no. Have you played any rotation-proof cleric standard tribal builds? I think they have potential. We have not played clerics in standard for a while. We played them a while ago. But not very... Oh, boy. Yeah. Well, Crocs is real good. That is a very strong Magic the Gathering card. I mean, I guess we've also just had a pitiful, absolutely pitiful draw. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 out of 15. That's a pretty big number. Apes of Wrath, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. Thank you, thank you. Okay, so, well, I think that was just a case of our deck running really, really poorly. I mean, we mulliganed and kept a 6-lander, and our opponent's playing discard tribal, so you mash all that together, and life is pretty sketchy. Croxa is annoying, but they're just like discard. We just got to be able to. We have. I feel like we should have the answers for this. But maybe we don't actually have the answers for this. Is like Vanishing Verse bad? What are we even like worried about in their deck? They just played every questionable discard spell possible. Yeah, starting end was super bad. Super, super bad. Huh. Well, I guess we'll just bring in some random removal. I don't think we want to bring in discard to fight the discard. Well, all right. Bring in a bunch of removal. Try it like that. We have a new donation from the Juice Caboose. $10 donation. Howdy, Seth. Thanks for all this sweet content. I was wondering if I could get your opinion of my janky treasure control deck. Thanks again. Well, you definitely can, Juice Caboose. Thank you so much for the donation. Ooh, some Storm Kiln Artist action, eh? I mean, that definitely looks fun. Revel in Riches is a really sweet card to be able to win the game with. Looks like you get lots of removal. Some of the numbers are weird. I don't know if maybe it's partly just what you have in your collection. Like, one Brainstorm looks weird to me, but if that's just because the arena economy is the arena economy, and it's impossible to get the cards you need, that is definitely understandable. But yeah, that's a cool idea. Thank you, Juice Caboose. All right, what is this new spoiler? Zabaz the Glimmer Wasp. 1 mana legendary artifact creature insect. Modular 1. If a modular triggered ability would put 1 or more +1/+1 counters on a creature you control, put that many +1 +1/+1 counters on it instead. While it is a clunky sentence, 1 red, destroy target artifact you control. 1 white, it gains flying until end of turn. That's actually a very interesting card. So it's basically like a hardened scales, but only specifically for modular cards. I could see this showing up in the hardened scales deck. Maybe some sort of modular affinity deck would try it, but I would say that the most likely home would be some sort of hardened scales style deck that leans more. I mean, you already have Ravager with modular. You already play Arcbound Worker sometimes with modular. There's the thing from MH1 that had it that actually seems pretty powerful. Yeah. I mean, so it's narrow in the decks that it would go in, but in those decks, I think it's actually very. Oh no, I think we might have the opposite problem. This game, we might have the problem where we don't have the lands to do anything. Opponent, meh, discard. Imagine that. Also, it is a modular commander. Is there not a modular commander already? So I guess yeah, here they come. So I mean, I guess the good news is, this has been miserable. Our deck has functioned incredibly poorly this entire match. Well, Jengatha in hand. Hey, what's up, Lazarus? How are you? So I think it is a legend that you could potentially play 4 of, because legend ruling it is fine. I swear our opponent just searched for discard and stuck anything that said discard in it into their deck. Indiscriminate. I mean, they even got this horrible land. Well, I guess we gotta counter that. Can we draw a land? No. Well, we will pass the turn. Yeah, now we actually, boy, if we could mix together our game 1 hand in this hand and have a functional amount of mana each game, I think we'd be in much better shape. But instead, we flooded out ridiculously in game 1, and now we are mana skewed ridiculously in game 2. No. I mean, having a modular commander, I guess, is cool. Opponent has a Valky, takes our Niv. Well, that's fine. We're never ever going to cast it anyway, because we don't believe in drawing lands this game. Pass the turn. Discard tribal versus Manisker tribal. Opponent passes. Hey, it's a card we can't cast. Pass the turn. I mean, once they hit a land and flip this into a 6/6, that just beats us. Like, this just being a 6/6 flyer is something that we're not going to be able to deal with. Hey, what's up, Mad Nasic? How are you? Opponent, untap land. I mean, yeah, I mean, Leyline would be our opponent's deck by itself, but I don't think it's a real enough archetype to have to sideboard for. Yeah, I mean, sometimes. So last game, all right, I kind of want to hypergeometric calculate this, actually. Because last game, of course we didn't have fun. We didn't draw any lands. Why would you even ask me that, Arena? We didn't play Magic that entire round, that entire match. Did you enjoy not playing Magic for the last 15 minutes? A new donation from Mike Cox Log, $2 donation. How does MTG Goldfish work? Is it owned by one individual? Is it a board and everyone has equal control? And how did you come across and join MTG Goldfish, or did you create MTG Goldfish? Well, Michael Cox Long, I appreciate the question. All right, maybe we will not pull out. Well, all right, the calculator, game one, and Mike Long, thank you for the donation. I will get to your question momentarily. So game one, how many lands are in this deck? I feel like it's not a. It is 27 lands. So in game one, our 27 land deck drew 9 lands. We drew 15 cards and drew 9 lands. Actually, I was on the mulligan too. So oh no, the calculator's broken. Oh no. Oh wait, there we go. So that is a pretty bad draw. We will draw that amount of lands or more 14% of the time. So in the bottom, like 1/6 of our possible draws. And then the last game, we drew 3 lands and 15 cards, which we will draw more than that 99.57% of the time. So that was just a double whammy of Magic variants. Ellie Tweet, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super cheer for you. Thank you. How long until I notice what? So as far as your question, Michael Cox Long, so MTG Goldfish is owned by Richard, who does the podcast. So Richard owns it. I'm the content manager, and then Krim and Tomer. I don't know if they actually have titles. They make content. I don't know. I'm not sure if there's an actual content producer, I guess. And then how did I come across and join Goldfish? That was mostly just a fluke, honestly. Where I was writing like EV reviews and so forth on Reddit, and that's how I met Richard. And Richard reached out, and he was just starting Goldfish, and asked about wanted to do content, and asked if I wanted to do articles for the site, and it just kind of went from there. So that was 5 years ago, 6 years ago. I think one of my best skills is I'm really good at playing the straight man. I think people mentioned that in regards to like the Jund against the odds or stuff like that, and I think Richard even mentioned on the podcast that you can't really tell when I'm trolling or when I'm not, because I'm very good at playing it straight like that and holding it together. Oblivion X, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super cheer for you. Thank you. All right, so deck one down. What do we learn about Mana Tithe Niv? Honestly, it was fine. It's clunky. It's a 5-color Niv deck. I don't know about this Kalia plan. This is a Platinum Mythic ranked player deck, of course. Philberto for the 11th month. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Big super cheer for you. So I don't know about this Kalia to just get Niv. It's not even a 2-color card. It's a weird build of Niv. The good news is we played 4 matches with it. We got 5 Mana Tithes, which is pretty impressive. So the question is, can deck number 2 get more Mana Tithes? That is, we need to do some channel point betting on this. So do you think that deck number 2, Jeskai, Magda, a free Flame Painter, Time Warp, a couple of Velomachus's, pile of cards. Do you think that will Mana Tithe more than 5 spells? That is a real question. That is the biggest question. So we're gonna give this deck a try. Is deck number 2. This deck, as I said, it's kind of like it's a spell stack. We're flashing back spells. We got Magda for some reason, which I haven't figured out. I guess technically you can get Velomachus. Velomachus, if it actually comes down, can go off with Time Warps. We got Mizzix's Mastery to flashback Magma Opuses. And of course, we have Mana Tithe, most importantly. So let's give it a shot. Sideboard, removal, counters, pretty typical stuff. So let's see how some Jeskai spells with Mana Tithe does. Can I get more than 5 Mana Tithes? Do I play poker? I do. I do like poker, and I played quite a bit of poker, but I haven't played too much recently. Did you see Velomachus Lorehold deck taking second at an Insight IQ last week? Ooh, wait. In Standard? I did not notice that. You should send me the list or the link. Oh, I got a Mana Tithe. Snap Keep. Ugh, Luris. Are we getting rogued? Ugh, rogues. Alright, well, we'll still Snap Keep. Tanos! Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super tier for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Discard. So much. Is discard like an actual deck all of a sudden? Did somehow, some way, people just all of a sudden start playing discard spells? They took a Mana Tithe. Our opponent, I don't even think that's the right choice. I think they just didn't want to get the humiliation of being Mana Tithe. Oh my god, Dreadhorde Arcanist, eh? Well, I guess we'll pass the turn. This is a card that, Arcanist. You gotta be able to kill it right away, and we can't. Yeah, taking the Mana Tithe makes sense if they're on the try to snowball Arcanist plan. Ooh, let me see Halfwing. Opponent. Thoughtseize. Well, we will make a treasure. Well, hopefully we draw some removal. Hopefully we draw some removal. Yeah, Arcanist is pretty insane. Oh, that looks like yeah, it looks like the deck that we played on stream a while ago. The like combo Indomitable Creativity. Yeah, I mean, it can be a pretty strong archetype for sure. When it works, it really works. Opponent, Thoughtseize Part 3. Hits us. Stitcher Supplier to mill some cards. Hits a Croxa, of course. We draw more. Wow, this is going incredibly poorly. Well, this is fun. Arcanist. Opponent, untap land, Croxa. Oh, wait, no. Going to claim a Death Shadow. Yeah, this, I think this is just going to fame a Dreadhorde Arcanist. Attack Inquisition. Well, good game. Opinion on whether Memory Lapse should be banned and Counterspell unbanned in Historic. Oh, I don't know. Jeez, we have not gotten to do anything our last 2 matches. Holy discard. Arcanist. Well, we'll bring in a couple more Lightning Helixes. Apparently, Platinum Mythic Ring player believes that emergency powers counts as graveyard hate. Oh, Platinum Mythic Ring player. Quite a player, that Platinum Mythic Ring player. Oh, Mind's Desire. We probably got to cut that because we're going to get wrecked by... We're going to get wrecked by discard. Is this deck playing 63 cards? Oh, Platty. Come on now, Platty. I guess I should have counted the cards. Yeah, apparently it's a 63 card deck. Can I send you a video of a spoiler that was just announced or is against the chat rules? Yeah, feel free. I mean, you can stick it in there, for sure. There's a video of it. We'll probably try to find, but yes, feel free to stick it in the chat. I don't think we'll watch the video on chat. But, it's good for people to know where it is. Is it the Wasp? I feel like we talked about the Wasp. Ooh, there is a new card. Chef's Kiss. 3 mana instant. Gain control of a target spell that targets only a single permanent or player. Copy it, then reselect the targets at random for the spell and the copy. The new targets can't be you or a permanent you control. Huh. That is a weird card. I mean, I feel like I'm actually afraid to say these words. Oh, imagine that. Is it a direct? Why is are people just always playing 12 discard spells? Is that like an actual thing that people do now? So weird. I have never seen this much discard. Playing 4 Duresses, 4 Thoughtseizes, and 4 Inquisitions. We've run that twice in a row. I'm afraid to say this, but the card feels very good in Commander. It feels like a very good Commander card. In Modern, maybe it could be a sideboard card. I mean, what would it do in Modern? Like, your opponent Path to Exile's your thing. Your opponent Path to Exile's your thing. And you Chef's Kiss it, and then 2 of their things get hit by Path to Exile. Opponent Thought Seizes you. Your opponent would end up getting double Thought Seized. Oh, how's that Inquisition, opponent? How's that one doing? Is there a drawback to playing every discard spell, opponent? Chef's Kiss is a sweet card, though. I do like it. Are we about to lose? Well, I guess. Yeah, we'll take an extra turn. Not that it's going to do anything. Opponent Footfall Greater Cycles. I'll tap land. Go. Come on, we need the Mana Tithe value. Yeah, I like Chef's Kiss a lot. I'm not exactly sure how playable. Yeah, I guess getting a burn spell is kind of sweet. Against burn. You get their Lightning Bolt and maybe you like hit their creature or something too. That's cute. Well, I guess we might be going on the Velomachus plan. We will see. Hey, what's up, DZ? How's it going? Good to see ya. Oh, sweet mother. Oh, whenever good things are about to happen, another discard spell comes off the top of the library. No. Oh, this is the worst day ever. Opponent goes attacking. Meh. A useless land. We will pass the turn. Yeah, I think that's what's annoying, is we've just played against this twice in a row now. Just every discard spell possible. Opponent doesn't even bother to cast anything with Luris, so I guess their mana's screwed. Well, if you draw enough Thoughtseizes, you don't need red mana. Opponent, Stitcher Supplier. We are on the flooding out plan here. Mill some cards. Another Stitcher Supplier. Footfall Crater, I assume, is to try to hasten a Death Shadow. Bona goes attacking. Oh no! Oh my god! Oh dear. I do love Mana Tithe, but I feel very betrayed at the moment. Young Pyromancer. I mean, we're not technically dead yet, but we need... not a lore hold command. I mean, I guess technically that keeps us alive. So we go up to 6. Kill Aluris. Draw in a free Flame Painter, which is kind of sweet, but, I mean, we're dead to anything. You name a card, and it kills us. Opponent. Yeah, I mean, as a decent draw, it's just way too late for it to do anything. Opponent has removal. Oh, that was a brutal amount of discard. Down to 1. Another land in. Wow. Oh, these last 2 matches have been really rough. Can't find the Reddit post of Chef's Kiss. Oh. I don't know. There seems to be multiple of them. If you go to the new tab on the main Reddit. So I don't know, it shows up for me. I think that playing Leyline would be overreacting to two very weird matchups. I mean, I put the link in the chat. That is the Reddit link. All right. Will we resolve a spell? My LGS is starting up F&M this Friday. We're playing Pioneer. I've been trying to brew a spicy aristocrat style list. Ooh, yeah, let me take a look. Abzan Aristocrats. Abzan Aristocrats is a sweet archetype. I haven't seen too many Pioneer Aristocrats lists. Plum the Forbidden is a good start. Now, tap land, go. Yeah, that looks fun. Sedgemoor Witch, Witherbloom. I would probably want some more card draw, maybe, but I feel like you're on a fun track to do some cool things. But I would probably up the number of like village rights and stuff, personally. Also, like Collected Company is probably worth considering. Yeah, we were looking at the modular insect a minute ago. Definitely a sweet card. I mean, I think you gotta specifically be a modular deck, but we're not getting discarded. That's a relief. Spells may be resolved. Actually, I don't know about that. We might be getting countered this time instead. Looks to be some sort of ramp style deck. Why discard Magda? I think Magda's a 100% to die. I just don't think it does anything. Oh, put it. Hey Seth, I want to build Claire Tribal in Modern. Do you have an upgrade suggestions for said deck? Ooh. Well, land go. Oh dear. Here comes the... So this is a Torrential Gearhulk combo deck by the looks. Another Brainstorm. I feel like this deck is probably... This deck doesn't have Brainstorm. This deck is very... Actually, looking at this deck, I probably should have looked at it closer. I saw Mana Tithe, and I just focused on Mana Tithing people. I did not look at 22 lands, 78 cards. I did not look at that part, and the random numbers of two of everything. I'm very curious where. Oh, these Memer Dream decks. These Memer Dream decks. How? Oh no. How? How does it keep happening? I really truly do not understand. Well, play a flame painter. So here's the cleric deck that we played in Modern a while ago. Oh yeah, I mean Time Warp is, I mean, the only good news is it doesn't seem to be a super real card. I don't even know if it's good stuff. It's like 78 card stuff. 78 Magic the Gathering cards. Well, we will block. If we could resolve things, it would be sweet. Yeah, a little short on mana. Yeah, I mean, I assume this gets countered and that's game, but we'll see. Time Warp. It doesn't even really do anything, sadly. But if we can get it in the graveyard, then the Flame Planer, I mean, I guess this could work. We can Pact a Negation. Yeah. No, this isn't. Then we gotta skip our turn. Ugh. Which means we can't get in with the Flame Painter. But if we don't do anything, it gets worse. Oh, so close to being cool. Wait, could have taken 2 turns. I mean, how are we gonna take 2 turns? If we let this resolve, I mean, don't we just lose to what our opponent's doing? Because remember, this has to hit your opponent. This doesn't do anything unless it deals damage to your opponent. So Flame Painter does nothing. It doesn't do anything. Like, our hope was we could take an extra turn. During the extra turn, we could try to rip apart the land to maybe attack. But at this point, Flame Painter does not exist. Well, they're going to get a wolf, and they get another 3/3. So now we gotta, like, now Flame Painter has to be, yeah, now Flame Painter just not ever gonna do anything. So, like, even Time Warp just doesn't do anything here. Like, we take an extra turn, but it doesn't do anything. Alright, that was brutal. Why didn't you cast Lorehold Command there? Well, I think, so, we can't see the battlefield now. I think our chance of winning that game is to take an extra turn. During the extra turn, kill the blocker so we can hit our opponent and take another extra turn. Then we can potentially, then we would potentially be able to win. But our opponent had the counters. So I think that was, oh, I guess we can see it here. So I think the way that we can win the game is, our one chance that I could see of winning is Time Warp. Our opponent only has 1 blocker. We get an extra turn. During the extra turn, we can Lorehold Command or Rip Apart to kill the 1 blocker, which then gets us an extra turn and a Chart of Course. And then hopefully that will snowball into maybe more extra turns or something to keep the fun going. If we cast Lorehold Command, it doesn't really do much of anything. Like, we Lorehold Command, our opponent probably would counter it anyway, but even if they didn't counter it, we get to kill a 3/3 and then, I guess, hit our opponent's face, and then they build a huge board of stuff, and the same issue happens. So I think that our way of winning was to resolve the extra turn spell, but we were unable to. Huh. 2 Magdas. Is there any way Magda's good? Why is there I don't understand the mind's desires. We don't even have an Ornithopter. Why would we be playing Mind Desire without an Ornithopter? Seriously. Come on now. Well, we'll bring in some vetoes, I guess, which are okay. They can deal with Nissas. They can't deal with the creatures. Ooh, Cat Pact. Yeah, let me see Gutter Snipe. There was an article about the ranking system within each rank on Arena. Short version is if you lose a lot of matches in a row, you can get paired against Terrible Jank no matter what rank you're in, which is probably the way you get these amazing decks to 6-0. I don't know, though. Like, this deck, I could see this deck getting 6 wins in a row. I definitely could see that, but some of them... Like, there's literally been decks they've published that are all lands. Like, a deck that can technically, that literally cannot win the game. Outside of their opponent, like, I guess conceding would be a possibility, but, like, they just straight up cannot win the game. So, I think, I did notice that article, and I think it's interesting, but I don't know if that actually explains... how some of the decks get... Apparently, it gets 6 wins. Can't see this deck getting 6 wins. I mean, it's got a lot of powerful cards. We've played like 2 matches with it. I could definitely... I think this deck could easily get 6 wins in a row. I don't think it's I mean, it's obviously got some issues, but... Well... Opponent. Presumably going to memory lapse. Are concede bots actually a thing? Nah, I don't know if it would be a play skill thing as much as just like hitting some really janky decks and running well. All right. Oh. Cat Pact. Cat Pact looks fun. This deck is not giving us any Mana Tithes either. I think we gotta make at least... some changes to the deck. The thing is, I feel like making this deck good is just gonna make it into a Velomachus Turns deck, and we've already done that, so... That's not especially interesting to me to just, like, do that again? So maybe, I don't know. Oh, this is the wrong deck. The wrong deck all around. But not only is the deck not giving us wins, that doesn't really matter. It has not given us Mana Tithes, or even come particularly close to Mana Tithes. Huh. I thought maybe the sideboard in main deck it got mixed up, but it doesn't seem to. The Cat Pack deck looks sweet. I mean, 9 Lives Solemnity is a pretty sweet locket historic. Forgus 1, Magda Treasures. I love Magda. Magda is definitely a cool card. I feel like just bring in Beloved Princess. play a Blink deck. I mean, I think Blink is pretty sweet. I mean, and it does have Mana Tithe. I feel like the white-black Blink deck is better than it looks. Like, I actually think that it is slow and grindy, but I think it's actually pretty powerful. And, I mean, our main goal was to Mana Tithe. This deck should be able to give us some Mana Tithe. So, white-black Blink, I think we played this a tiny bit a long time ago, but this is basically, like, kind of a taxi style deck where we're trying to Ephemera and Mana Tithe and just disrupt our opponents with tricky ETB things with Elite Spellbinders and Skyclave Apparition and Callous Blood Mage and just like slowly grinding out incremental value. So I think maybe that's a better plan because this deck is pretty fun. The Esper one is best with Thassa and such. Ooh, I don't know if I've seen a Thassa one. Yeah, I mean, Thassa is not particularly synergistic with Ephemera and Mana Tithe, but It's a really important card against all the Strixhaven Mystical Archive decks, so I think it's more of a necessary evil, kind of, even though it's a bit of a non-bow. Bring it, Thoughtseize. I feel like this deck probably owns that discard deck. Yeah, I haven't. I don't think I have an Esper blank deck. Yeah, now I hope that our opponent's casting all the Thoughtseizes and Dresses. Oh, opponent. Has anyone else played anything interesting in Historic or Modern or otherwise? Standard even? Well, get and hit you down to 50. Pass the turn. Opponent. Said, haha! The counter's ticking up. The counter's ticking up already. Ephemerate. Oh, take that. Okay, this is way better. This is way better already. We already are getting Mana Tithe value. We got 1,000,000 clues stacked up. Blanket. Ooh, Glorious Protector. Go to combat. Attack you. Hit you. Pass the turn. There's the Mana Tithe counter. Azorius blank. Ooh. Opponent's going to sign and blood themselves. Okay. Draw some cards. Tim O'Kills. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super cheer for our new subscriber, Boros Magda. I feel like Magda's a card that should be able to take off at some point. It's just one of those cards that it feels like it's got to make it sooner or later. Well, you can never have too many Thraben Inspectors, I guess. Go to combat, hit ya. Elite Spellbinder. If they wanna hog mauling us, I think we're okay with that. Pass the turn. Opponent's got a ton of lands. Blue-white blink looks fun. I like Last Pool Mimic a lot. Ooh, opponent finds another witch. Okay. Well, crack this. That's reasonable. Skyglaive Apparition. His deck just picks people apart. Yes, we are very sure. We will take the 3. Out of here. Sedgemoor Witch. Hit ya. Oh, and we're in great shape. We're running them over. The Mana Tithe on the Sedgemoor Witch, I think, gets credit for the win. I play Magda in my 5-color Golos deck that tutors up Maskwood Nexus for Hellish Shenanigans. Oh, Maskwood Nexus sounds so much fun in that deck. Opponent. Well, there's bad news, opponent. Very bad news. And that is, I think you're losing. Well, Spellbinder. Strip it. Untap. Ephemerate. Ephemerate's such a good card. It's so good. Blanket. So question, chat. Are you still playing Standard right now? Are you still interested in Standard at the moment? I kind of wonder if we have reached the point in Standard's life where are we already waiting for the next set or waiting for rotation? My impression has been people are not interested in it. One of the weirdest developments recently that I've noticed making content is that Legacy content has been the content that people have been watching most. Legacy and Modern seem to be the formats that people are very interested in watching, at least when I make videos. And Standard seems to be really lagging behind a lot of other formats at the moment. No, failure time. I mean, Modern is very popular, and I expect we're going to see a lot of opponent going out on their own terms. I can respect that, and that was pretty good. Picked them apart. The single sweetest time that I can remember from doing Magic content and for being around in Magic was Modern Horizon 1's release. That was an incredibly hyped time for the format and for the community in general, I think that we might be getting ready for a modern boom, boon, whatever. The stonks are going up at the moment for modern, but I feel like that's what's happening. Hey, what's up, Jaguar? Good to see ya. But I feel like we have like the perfect like group of forces that are all converging. We have modern, which people already love. We have Modern Horizons 2, which looks absurd and is so sweet. And then we also have stuff opening up and like the start of F&Ms again in some places, and like a place for people to actually play Paper Modern. So I feel like it's going to be a good summer for Modern. I really do. And I'm expecting that we're going to have some sweet Modern videos. I am very excited for it. I think it's going to be, I think it is going to be really sweet. So I have very, very high hopes for Modern, I would say. High hopes that Modern is going to do really well this summer. I think it'll help Pioneer to some extent too. I think Pioneer has many of those factors. Like the slow return of Paper Magic helps Pioneer. I think there are people who still really love Pioneer. It is missing out on its like master set or whatever. Like if there was Pioneer Masters or Pioneer Horizons or something that was coming out, I think that Pioneer would also be ready for a resurgence, but we'll have to settle for Modern, I guess. Oh, a quick reminder as we're going through this that our sponsor today is Card Kingdom. If you need some Magic cards, you can get them over at cardkingdom.com. Modern is waiting for the next 8-mana Delve creature. Standard is nothing but ultimatums when Nota and Eldraine piles. Yeah, I mean, I personally cannot blame people. Like, I've experienced the same thing. Like, I'm just not interested in playing Standard right now. And it's not because it's like, it's weird because in the past, wow, this is like our Standard Pest deck. In the past, when Standard was having problems, it was pretty obvious. It was like, okay, Fires of Invention is breaking things. Uro is breaking things. Wilderness Reclamation is breaking things. This one deck is 50% of the meta. I don't even know if I want to Mana Tithe this. I don't know if I've ever said those words before, but I guess. I guess maybe they really need that land. Alright, opponent. I mean, we gotta get the counter. That's the most important thing. Opponent thought so much discard. Well, let's foretell this so it doesn't get hit by discard. Play a Fabled Passage to thin the deck past the turn. Oh, Leovold at Modern would be... I think Leovold at Modern would be bad news. I don't even think the Standard's that bad, though. It's just that it's old. It's not interesting. And I think that Wizards maybe has not realized how much that matters these days, if that makes sense. Like, I almost wonder if they haven't... Well, I don't know if we want either of those. I almost realize... I'm not sure that Wizards realize that, like, if they're going to be arena and they're going to be a video game, things got to be fast and exciting and always changing. And you just really can't afford to have like, oh, like it's the same old thing for 49 months in a row or whatever. So I feel like Wizards has not really grasped that aspect of being a digital game. So I'm hoping that they figure that out at some point. Because I don't think that Standard's problem is that it's bad per se. It's more that it's just old and played out to some extent. Like we've seen the same things again and again and again. Jeez, well, phone's going off. Please pay. You know it's a land. That counts. I think that counts as a Mana Tithe. I think that counts. We got our opponent to pay a mana when they know we have a land in our hand. Come on, Sedgemoor Witch. No fear. That should count. Glorious Protector. No blinking. Get rid of the Sedgemoor Witch. Opponent's drawing a lot of cards, which is a big concern. That's gotta count. Play the land. Draw a card. Pass the turn. Opponent. They drew a lot of cards, though. Many, many. Yeah, we were talking about Chef's Kiss earlier. Chef's Kiss is sweet. I think it's got a shot to be a sideboard card in Modern. I'm going to have to think more about what it can actually do, but I'm leaning towards it being able to be a decent sideboard card in Modern. And it definitely seems good in Commander decks, too. Yeah, I don't know exactly what our opponent's game plan is at the moment. I am worried about just the raw number of... Well, I guess that's a game plan. Well, land, Callous Blood Mage. We didn't really bring in an answer to this, did we? Huh. Draw a card. Oh, no. Oh, boy. That is exactly what we needed to not hit. Oh, death is coming. So, opponent's deck is odd. I have not seen a deck like our opponent's. Definitely agree that the standard is a bit stale, but I have still been having fun with weird jank like this. Sultai Echoing Equations deck that I have been having a lot of fun with. Who doesn't love Swiggy for 20 with Elder Gartergroth and Clackbridge Trolls? Ooh, yeah, we played. Oh, alright. Huh. Well, I mean, it worked. I would not build a Grey Merchant deck with this number of non-black mana symbol spells, but it did work, so interesting. I mean, we're not going to be able to beat the Obliterator regardless. We should have picked up... Oh, no, we didn't have a Mana Tithe. We had Ephemerate. We had Ephemerate in hand, not Mana Tithe, so we couldn't Mana Tithe it. Yeah. So we're going to a very low life total, and the Obliterator hits, and we're going to have to sack permanents? I think we got a chump block Obliterator there. Interesting. Fracture might... I haven't updated the sideboard of this deck in a while. Fracture might just not be worth it. It probably should just be more Vanishing Verses. I mean, we have Skyclave Apparition, and we have Verse, so we have ways to deal with it. Well, we're going to keep this. There is risk that we don't draw land number 2 and get wrecked, but if we draw land, Charming Prince Scries, we got an Ephemerate, this hand can do things. Ugh. I don't really like Silver Quill Silencer. I still haven't come around to Silver Quill Silencer. The Echoing deck looks super fun, Oblivion. Definitely reminds me a little bit of the Finn Against the Odds deck that we played. But, like, Clackbridge is a cool thing to copy. Definitely can do some really sweet things with Echoing Equation. That is a really sweet card. Oh, punished. Well, this was the risk we took when we kept the one-lander. One land, one keep. Gotta get those black mana symbols. Opponent. Passes. Oh, dear. Well, pass the turn. Oh, not like this. Oh, we should not be losing to this deck. Oh, dear. Environmental Sciences. Oh, dear, oh, dear. Opponent. Passes. Alright, we did draw land number 2 finally. Yeah, we'll just pass. I don't want them to play an Obliterator here. We can crack the clue to try to find a land. Opponent. Gonna play around our Mana Ties. Pretty far behind at the moment, though. I'll sack the clue. We do draw land. I'll play the land. Ugh. How do we do this? I guess we Spellbinder. Okay. Sure. I can't believe this is what our opponent's deck's doing. The news commander is, yeah, wow, okay. Card draw off the top. I think that... You think you should play Professor of Symbology in this deck? I don't know. I'm not sure I'm convinced. Wall of Chaos! Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super cheer for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Well, blink the Spellbinder. I'm still not convinced that you want to be casting Learning Lessons in a lot of... Wow, they do another one. All right, opponent's obliterating for days. Charming Prince Scry. Well, land to the bottom, land to the bottom. We're trying. We have a new donation from by ZimJ, $5 donation. I want to share my 4-color blink deck I've been using. Thanks for all the great content. Love your stuff. Oh, thank you for the donation. Oh wait, where's the deck? How does the new ooze kill on turn 1? I mean, that does sound spectacular. Oh, blink. Spellbinder. Get rid of Gray Merchant. The synergy with Spellbinder and Mana Tithe is pretty sweet. I'll keep them both. Pass the turn. Oh, I am the evil one for the 39th month. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super cheer for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Opponent. Another obliterator. Goes attacking. Hits us. Well, Callous Blood Mage, draw a card. Go to combat, hit ya. This deck is blowing my mind that it's like kind of functioning. It really is. Opponent. Thought seizes. Well, I mean, we're just going to lose to this Massacre Worm, unfortunately. The Mana Tithe was the card that was keeping us in this, but... Huh. I have never seen a Devotion deck that is playing mono spells. Doing well, Trigger. How are you? Opponent goes attacking. Hits us to 7. Dire Tactics would be okay, I guess. I would probably just play more Vanishing Verses, I think. We do have a decent number of humans, which is helpful, but... Well, I mean, I assume that this is just death to... Yeah, I mean, I'm like 99% sure that we just lose to Massacre Worm. They just need to hit a land. Needed the... This is because we don't have the Mana Tithe. Like, not having the Mana Tithe... And opponent, top deck the land, sure, says good game, of course, and scoops it up. I mean, we're like literally dead. Well, yeah. I mean, I guess we're dead to one of those things. I am... Huh, what do you think of this deck? Is this like an actual thing that can work or no? Because our opponent is essentially playing no permanents that cost 1, 2, or 3 mana. They're like playing all spells. But then they're also trying to play Devotion stuff. I mean, it worked that match. I don't know if that's... I don't know if that means anything. But it functioned there. Huh. Because my impulse when... Oh, no. Lurrus. Guess what? A Lurrus deck. Oh, let me see, Jim. Thank you again for the donation. Definitely appreciate it. Oh, Lango. 4-color blink. Ooh. Oh, we played a little bit of a deck that had Shipwrecked Ouser and Time Warp combo with Ephemera, and definitely a sweet combo when you get it set up. That looks super fun. A little disappointed there's no Panharmonicon in there. Got some good Pandermonica creatures, but oh, it is this deck. Ugh. Oh dear, rogues. Well, play a land and a Thalia. Yeah. Yeah, it looks that looks sweet, Jim. Oh, boot it. They put Time Warp into Historic with the Mystical Archives. I guess we just pass for now. Opponent's down to 16. I mean, Thalia does seem like it should at least be able to annoy our opponent. The problem is they can flash in things that can block it, which is obnoxious. Opponent mills us. Opponent. Yeah, the new legend is definitely one of the most interesting cards. Just it looks like a fan made card. It really does. It's a card that I still really can't believe is actually real, honestly. Well, of course. Well, we'll blink the Thalia. Opponent's got a Historic Thought Thief. Yeah, definitely really spicy. Seems like a really fun commander to build around, for sure. Opponent. Thought seizes. Thinking. And takes a creature. If they kill Glorious Protector, we're in pretty rough shape. We got nothing to do with these Ephemerates. Well, that's good at least. Go to combat. Attack ya. About it. Takes it. I really want to resolve this Callous Blood Mage. Really. Not the new legend, the red instant. What about the red instant, Doug? What would you think about a set in out rotation for standard? Every time a new set enters standard, an old one leaves. That way things are always being shaken up without a hard reset to the format every time. I kind of like the idea of... Yeah, maybe we just got to Ephemerate first, I guess? The problem is if they kill it in response, that's so bad. Yeah, let's just pass. I mean, we can always blink it to untap. And block something if our opponent attacks. I think I would like to have like 2 rotations a year, personally. I think that's what I would lean towards. I wonder if every set would be something else that people would have to track that might be a problem. Well, we'll blank it. Get back Thalia. Get back the Angel. We get to block the Wind Robber. Opponent mills a couple things. You only want more rotations because you don't play paper standard. I mean, I think standard has shifted to being primarily a digital format at this point. So I kind of feel like it's not a huge deal. And the other thing that I think is worth mentioning is like Paper Standard keeps getting cheaper. Like if you look at the current top tier decks, there's a lot. Like most top tier decks are under $200 or between $100 and $200. The most expensive ones are like $300-ish, $350. I guess Teamer Ramp is closing in on $400. But Standard has gotten way cheaper than it was in the past. Before, there were standards where you couldn't find a single deck around $100, and most decks were $500, $600, $800, $1,000. Were like decks we're peaking at in the Jace era. So I feel like Standard has gotten so much cheaper because of all the collector's boosters and special printings, bringing down prices of cards, that I'm not even sure that the cost issue is that big in paper anymore. We have a new donation, Dan Wildfire. Well, I guess we gotta play this. Chef's Kiss, 1 red instant. Gain control of target spell that targets only a permanent or player, copy it, then reselect the targets at random. Wow, opponent did not counter it. Then reselect the targets at random. New targets can't be you or permanents you control. Yeah, that is a really interesting card, Doug. Well, I guess we go attacking. Like, I guess our job is to try to close out this game. Yeah, that's a card. Thank you so much, Doug, for the donation. That's a card that we were talking a little bit about, trying to figure out what you can do with it. I think in Commander, I would consider playing it in a lot of decks. I wonder what it can do in Modern. Like, that is the big question for Modern. It's like, can it show up in Modern? Is it good enough? Variant for the 50-month resub. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super for you. Thank you. Vote it down to 8. Hopefully dying quickly. They are milling us. They're getting close. I mean, I guess they are pretty much milling us out. Whew. Yeah, I feel like Standard just moves so much online that it doesn't really matter. Ooh, Una's Blackguard. All right. About it. Passes. Well, play a land. Untapped. Callous Blood Mage. Draw a card. Attack. Opponent. Well, yeah, let's blink it. Exile. Mag Salvage is interesting. It's so Mag Salvage, another new. Is this actually in? Wait, shouldn't this be in the new to Modern Old Border reprint slot? I guess they're not all Old Border. But Mag Salvage is interesting. Potentially free artifact destruction. You do gotta jump through some hoops. I will say that Mag Salvage, Cool Cat 69, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big soup cheer for you. Thank you. I'll take the Brainstorm. Alright, draw a Charming Prince. About it. Wow, staying aggressive. Mill some cards. No blocks. We're going to try to kill you. I'll blink Blood Mage. Draw a card. Go to combat. Attack. Hit ya. Opponent's getting low on life. They're getting low on life. Yeah, we might nuke our graveyard. We might nuke it with the Charming Prince. Because, I mean, Charming Prince... Flicker Callous Blood Mage. Thraben Inspector. Land. Callous Blood Mage is such a sweet card. It really is. It's so good. Yes, we will exile our graveyard. Turn off your dorks. All right, opponent, you're down to 3. We got the bigger board. Done, done, done. Rogues cannot keep up. For me, I think us, community, will stop complaining about rotations when Wizard stops making sets like Eldraine. Once every sets are fun, fair, diverse, none of us will complain about how long Standard rotates. At least that's my opinion. I think that's an interesting take, Takoto. I don't disagree, although I would say that part of the... Yeah, Blood Mage is so good. Part of the challenge is... Part of the challenge is, I wonder if Standard's always going to get boring. Like, that's something I felt, is... I remember back, like, Collected Company. I just took this as normal, that when you would get to the summer, you stop caring about Standard. Because normally, what happens, at least in my experience with Standard, is it's not that it's bad, it's just that you've done it for so long that you get to the summer before rotation, and you're kind of looking forward to rotation. You're like, okay, I know all these decks, I know all these cards, I played these matchups a million times, I'll play Modern for the summer and wait for rotation. I don't know if that's even, like... an issue, like, is that bad design? I don't even know if that's like bad design on Wizards' part, or if it's more that that's just what happens when the cards are in the format for so long. So I kind of lean towards, I would like to see them give faster rotation a fair shot. I know they like kind of tried it once before, but when they kind of tried it once before, it was during a time when Standard was, for its time, really, really bad. Like, it was considered to be, like, one of the worst Standards. Obviously, we had even worse Standards since then, but, like, the Energy Standard was considered to be really, really bad. So, I would like to see them experiment with it more, at least. If it ends up being that people don't like it, and it moves too fast, and your decks are invalidated too fast... then fair enough, but I would like to see it given at least a bit of a shot to see what happens. Yeah, we've been talking about the new spoilers as we go along. Ooh. Well, alright. Thrabes, get it out. I really like Garth. I really do. I still think it reads like a fan-made card, just like the way it's worded. It still hasn't really completely soaked in that it's a real Magic card, but it is a really sweet card, and I think it's going to be super fun to play with. I do. Well, I guess we just Thalia for now. Hit ya. Little concerned about the Una's Black card. I also, man, the set just keeps getting sweeter and sweeter. I do think Chef's Kiss is really interesting. And I think Zabaz is really cool too. Like, a new commander, modular decks, hardened scale style decks. So a lot of the cards, even if they're not great, they seem like they have potential at least. That's a little awkward. Yeah, let's just rest in peace. Hit ya. Put an end to, well, not Una's Blackguard. Una's Blackguard is frightening, but... yeah, I think it'd be interesting to try one rotation in, one rotation out. I also think twice a year would be interesting to try at a time in the era of Arena and lower prices, because I think the bigger issue last time they tried it was not so much that the gameplay was bad, it's that it was expensive, players felt like their decks were getting invalidated too quickly, stuff like that. So I would like to see what would happen if they tried it now in like the current era, rather than the like 2017 super expensive deck, no Arena era. Yeah, I mean, that was that was the era of, I think, the most expensive standard of all time. Well, this is actually going to be kind of a blowout for our opponent. Ephemerid's so good. 2 acquisitions experts. Hand going to be stripped pretty well. I mean, this Grief is, someone asked about Grief. This is what you're going to do with Grief, except you're going to be doing it on turn 1, and you're going to be doing it in Modern, and it is going to be absurd. I really think that Grief is busted. I really, really stand by that. I think that Grief is going to do absurd things. I don't think you just jam it in every deck, but if you build your deck around it, oh my god, is Grief insane? It's going to be insane. It's going to be so good. So Grief is one of the cards I'm highest on for Modern so far. As far as, like, competitive cards, I think there's a ton of cards that I can't wait to play with in Modern, but... Alright, there's a Luris. It'll still be a 3 for 3, right? Yeah, it'll still be a 3 for 3, but in theory, you're trading your bad cards for your opponent's best cards. So, I think just the numbers in an absolute sense might not completely do justice to how devastating that is. Like, you're going to have a Grief, so I guess it's a 3 for 2, because you get to keep the Grief on the battlefield. Well, did you draw a counter? Blink you. Block you. Oh, we're picking apart rogues. We're picking them apart. Dead, dead, dead. Oh, we're picking them apart. Wonderfully, beautifully. Thaw sees you. Ooh, Thieves Guild Enforcer. Okay. It does get a counter. Well, pass the turn. Play some defense. And it has additional... oh, I think it's good enough for Legacy, too, and maybe Vintage. It compares to Unmask, which is a card that sees play in those formats. So, I think it can see play outside of Modern as well. Ugh, land. Well, I guess we play a Rest in Peace. Could have used a bit more action there, but pass the turn. Opponent. At least if they kill our Glorious Protector, we get a bunch of creatures out. Opponent also drawing lands. Thrabes is not bad. Thrabes comes down. Mag Salvage, does that do anything in Modern? I wish, where's the, do we have a translated version? Ooh, Mana Tithe. I don't know if this is the best type. All right, so, yeah, we'll pass. So Mag Salvage, it is a reprint, 3 mana instant. If your opponent controls an island and you control a mountain, you can cast it without paying its mana cost, destroy an artifact. A fine effect. I don't know if that's actually super relevant for Modern. Maybe, but I love this style of free spell. These are actually kind of my favorite style of free spell decks. Are free spell decks that have the restriction where you need to have like the right color of mana. You need a not getting milled. You need to have the right color of mana. There's a bunch of conditions, hoops to jump through to actually make it free. So I would like to see more free spells along those lines with, like, you have to have the right land, your opponent has to have the right land, and then you can cast it for free, compared to just, like, free spells. Because, yeah, I mean, we see it, like, that's one of the things I always said with Phyrexian mana. You look at Phyrexian mana and, like, Dismember. I feel like if Dismember and other Phyrexian mana spells had a clause that were like, if you have the proper color of your Phyrexian mana, like Dismember, if you control a swamp, you may pay life instead of actual mana for this spell. I think that would have made them so much better, and you wouldn't have them showing up in decks outside the color pie and all that stuff. Sort of like Invigorate. I've always kind of liked that aspect of Invigorate, where Invigorate, like, you have to control a forest. So you can't just take this and be like, oh, I'm going to play this in my mono blue deck, like a mutagenic growth or whatever, because there is at least a little bit of a cost there. So that's something I would like to see more of if they are going to keep doing free spell style cards. Well, we're at a bit of a standoff at the moment. Submerge would be interesting in Modern. Submerge would probably be pretty good in Modern, actually. Oh, but it passes. Ooh, Skyclave. Well, let's Thoughtseize. Another land. I'll play Skyclave. Get rid of the Thought Thief. Start attacking. Opponent takes it. Okay, the tide might be turning. The tide might be turning. Opponent plays a land, passes. We draw land. I'll go to combat. Attack you. Hit ya. Oh, I think Grief and Ephemerit's going to be very powerful. Well, let's thin the deck. Play the land, pass the turn. Opponent's down to 14. We're like one good draw away, I think. If we can find like an Ephemerate to do some... Interesting. Okay. Well, that was a decent turn for our opponent. That was a decent draw. Goes to combat. Well, maybe the tide's turning in our opponent's direction now. Hits us. We lose our Mana Tithe. Oh, no. Oh, no. I was not expecting that to be a card our opponent had, but that was huge. Yeah, there goes the Mana Tithe. I'll play a Charming Prince. Scry. Bottom. For the love of God, we do not want those. Pass the turn. We don't have anything very good underneath our Glorious Protector. We have an Acquisitions Expert and a Thraben Inspector. I wish we had more value under it. Opponent plays a land. Oh, they found their Castle Lochwain. We have not found a Castle Lochwain. Opponent. Oh no! Another land. Oh. I mean, we could have blinked. I think we're getting roughly the same value. We're getting a random draw with Thraben Inspector instead of a draw 2. But I think it's pretty similar. Well, Skyclave. Yeah. I don't know. I think it's very close. If we had more value under it, I think it would not be close, and it would be the clear choice, but... Well, get rid of Thieves Guild Enforcer. Go to combat. Hit you with Glorious Protector. Huh. Okay. Opponent does not want to go to 11, apparently. Draws with Castle Lochwain. I think Castle Ardenvale is not particularly good in this kind of deck. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it's particularly good, but that's a one of. I feel like it's kind of free value. So I don't think it's like insane or anything, but I feel like it's good enough that it comes into play untapped enough that I think that it's worth playing usually. Opponent goes to 9. Well, Callous Blood Mage. These Rest in Peace, I'm assuming, are doing some serious work. We will pay the 1. Opponent's Mana Tithe, not looking great. Gonna draw a card. Oh, we're drawing. We're definitely drawing. All right, Castle Lochwain. If we're going to draw land, Castle Lochwain's the one we want to hit. Opponent's at 7. We got 7 power. Are we going to close this out? The longest, grindiest game, taking down the Rogues. Oh, Yeah, opponent did not have the best Mana Tithe. That went pretty well. That went pretty well, though. Do we know when Wizards of the Coast will finally put the missing cards from Commander 21 on Magic Online? We do not. We do not have any idea. As far as I know, there's been no response when people have asked Wizards about it. But yeah. It's pretty disappointing because so many of the cards are missing. I was actually thinking about that when... I was actually thinking about... Ooh. Oh no, straight up control? Well, Castle Aquane's good. Maybe it's Elementals. Occasionally it's Elementals. What do you think about Careful Study in Modern? I think Careful Study would be fine in Modern. I don't even know if it'd be very... I mean, I would probably be okay. But I think that what made Faithless Looting so strong was... Okay, so it definitely is... Oh, it's like an infinite turn stack, isn't it? I think what made Faithless Looting so strong was the flashback ability. So I think Faithless Looting with no flashback is fine. I think Faithless Looting with flashback is pretty brutal. Please don't counter this. Yeah. Well, we'll see. Not feeling especially good about where we're at the moment. Not feeling good at all about where we're at the moment. We really needed something on the battlefield. We got a handful of support cards that don't do anything. Opponent's going to make a shark. Yeah. Oh, and this is Kanta's gonna... Oh, this looks super bad. Opponent. Land. Gets Kahira. Goes to combat. Well, we're gonna try this. Do you have another sensor? Alright, they do not. Well, eat the shark. We got a body. Alright, come on. ETB. Ooh, Thalia's actually very, very, very good in this matchup. Thalia's like ideal. Get in, hit ya. Thalia. Well, if anything's gonna give us a shot, it's Thalia. Opponent draws a card. Puts a land into play. Is Kanta's getting close? Red Careful Study? Yeah, like a literal Faithless Looting without flashback I think would be fine. Hey, thank you, Musical Mustache Man. I mean, we only cast one spell, so it'll... Oh, come on now. Well, this is awkward, but... We have to Ephemerate Glorious Protector. To blink Thalia. So the Wrath gives us back our Thalia. That's 7 cards in the graveyard, though. Untap land. Opponent passes. Another land. Ugh. Well, go attacking. Hit ya. Down to 13. Oh, not good, not good. Opponent. Trying to cast Gross Spiral. Oh, they have a Brainstorm. You know what? We're gonna get some value out of this while we can. Mana Tithe. We gotta get at least one more Mana Tithe before the stream ends. Oh, I can't wait to play Squirrel Tribal. I don't think Squirrel Tribal looks super competitive, but I think it looks... Oh, come on now. I don't know if it looks super competitive, but it does... Wow, opponent punted this one away. But it does look good enough to win some games in Modern, I think. Wow, opponent just... Okay, well, we're back in it. I was not expecting to try to tuck your Thalia for some unknown reason. we will take it. We will take it. Opponent. Yasharn. Sure. Gonna tutor out some lands. Mana Tithe number 3 with, so we've gotten, I think, 8 Mana Tithes altogether between all the decks. Kahira. Well, we will Castle Lockway. Play Elite Spellbinder. Take Nissa. Although it's coming back. Oh, so we gotta pass the turn. Oh, alright. Abundant Harvest. Gets an... Oh! Nissa's for days! Nissa's for days! Yeah, this is just Bant pile of good cards, basically. Opponent goes attacking. We will take 5. Are they not gonna play there? Are they not gonna play their Nissa? Post-combat Nissa. Well, Glorious Protector. Unfortunately, there's another Nissa coming, though. So we can snipe the Nissa. More lands. Play the land. Crack the land. D&D set comes out in July. So actually, the schedule is crazy. We have this week and next week, we have spoilers for Modern Horizons 2. And then I think we have 3 weeks for the set to actually release Modern Horizons 2. Why? Oh, we can't sacrifice it. That's awkward. So we know... Yeah, let's just scry. We know Nissa's coming. We'll keep the Callous Blood Mage. Our deck is really good at doing sweet things, but our opponent's deck just has busted cards. So I think we have... So I think we have spoilers into... I mean, we'll kill it, I guess. We lose our board. We take 8. We can kill the Nissa, but... Double Nissa. I think we could have beat 1 Nissa, but I'm not convinced we can beat 2. Go to combat. Kill Nissa. Crack the land. Or crack the clue. Come on. Well, alright. Acquisitions expert. Nothing in hand. Callous Blood Mage. Make a pest. We're gonna try. We're gonna try. Oh, they got his Kanta. Oh, they have his Kanta. I forgot they have. Oh, yeah. All right. Well, that does mean we're dead then. All right. Yeah. Oh, is Kanta too good? If that Junpei played on Against the Odds on April Fools was competitive enough for Modern ATO, Squirrels should make the cut. Yeah, I mean, I think Squirrels are definitely going to be good enough to play on Against the Odds. No doubt about that. We're definitely playing them on Against the Odds. I don't think they're going to be an actual competitive deck. I will say, I think that we should be cutting Mana Tithe in this matchup, but I don't think we're going to cut Mana Tithe in this matchup because... Our whole purpose is to get Mana Tithes, or that is one of our primary purposes. So we're still going to keep in 3 Mana Tithes, even though I do think that the most correct plan is to cut them out, because our opponent just has so much mana. Squirrels might be better than Jund. They're definitely cuter than Jund, and cooler than Jund. Oh, wait, another... Oh... Old Border Tribute Mage. I mean, I like the Old Border cards. It's not a super exciting Old Border card. I don't know if I've seen Tribute Mage really see play at all, but it does look good in the Old Border. Do the rule changes for the new Planeswalkers as Commander affect any other card? So I haven't actually seen the actual rule that is changing. My assumption is that the answer is no, because there's not any other Planeswalkers that are also insect creatures or creatures. So I think that that is why. I think that is why it works for the new Planeswalker, is specifically because it's a creature, and there's just no other Planeswalker that meets that criteria. Alright, well, make you discard. Opponent plays a land, passes. Well, concealed courtyard. Go to combat, attack you. Hit ya. Charming Prince. Well, we'll Mana Tithe the memory lapse. Blink Acquisitions Expert. Make you discard. Can we temple them out? Proliferate your Witcher. Welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super here for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Opponent. You should do some verse viewer stream post Modern Horizon 2 and Modern on Moto and see what people brew to face you. Ooh, yeah, that could definitely be super fun. That sounds like a decent possibility. We had talked about doing the next viewer battle stream on Moto, so maybe doing it post Modern Horizons is a perfect time. Oh yeah, Tithe counter +1, you're right. Opponent Brainstorm. Opponent's Brainstorm counter increasing. How good do you think Brainstorm ended up being in Historic? Like, should our deck just be splashing blue to have Brainstorm in it? Is it that busted? Abundant Harvest. I mean, I guess our opponent's kind of playing a 2-card combo to make it work, too. Opponent plays a land. Cracks it. And passes. Well, play the land. Attack you. Opponent down to 11. Thought sees you. We're picking them apart this game. Think Harvest is better? We haven't seen the Modern Horizons version yet. Do you think that that's going to have a pretty big impact on Modern? I've seen it pop up in a couple of Legacy decks. Not a ton, but it's shown up a little bit in Legacy decks. Hey Zach, how are things? It's been a minute. How's did you end up moving? Go to combat, hit ya. Down to 6. Pass the turn. Can we close it out? Maybe this is our recipe. Discard, discard, discard. Pick them apart. If they play Kahira, I think they die. Glorious Protector. That's lethal. Yeah. Got him. Got him, got him. Take it out of the control deck. Do you think... So, Abundant Harvest... Do you think it's strong in an absolute sense? Like, do you think that Jund plays it, let's say? Or is it strong in a... like, combo-y sense? Like, when I'm getting back my Arclight Phoenix, or we've seen, like, our opponent's deck is using it to make Brainstorm better, essentially. Gareth is ridiculous, Zach. It is absolutely... I still have not totally come to grips with the fact that it's a real card. I like it, though. It's really fun looking to me. Although, it doesn't really look like a real Magic card. It looks like something would... from one of the, like, design your own card subreddits or something. I didn't believe it was real when I first saw it, honestly. Ooh. I'm tempted to take Gross Spyro to slow our opponent down. I think that's fine. We'll take Growth Spiral. We're just going to try to make him discard. We're going to Acquisitions Expert, hopefully find the land Elite Spellbinder of the Teferi, and hope that that recipe of attack the hand, it's kind of what people were doing to us earlier. Maybe, oh, there's the land. Maybe just playing all the discard is an actual, like, legitimate plan in this format. Acquisitions Expert. What do you say, opponent? Shark Typhoon down. Opponent cracks. It reminds me, would you mind rating a custom card I made? No, send it over. I'd love to take. Wow, they whiffed. Oh, that's absurd. That is absurd. That's so good for us. Well, land. Acquisitions Expert. Take your Shark Typhoon. Thraben Inspector. Hit your Narset. Oh, this might be happening. We might be taking this deck down. We might be taking it down. Hey, see you, Cool Cat. Thanks for hanging out. Have a great evening. Opponent cashes in their Narset. All right, can we close it out? Can we find a way to close it out? Opponent top deck the land like a champ to play the boar. Tijuana Joe, welcome to the Fishbowl. Thank you so much for your subscription. Big super cheer for you. Thank you. Oh, we have a Spellbinder. Take the Teferi.
How long do you want to wait for?
Play the land. Pass the turn. Oh, it's going to be close. It's going to be super close. I bought 4 Harvests for €1 each. I'm sure it will go up in price once MA2 get released, though it's just speculation. The question, I think, is, what rarity is it? That's the question that I had. Do we think it's going to be a... Man, if they find a Wrath, I'm going to cry. If they find a Wrath, we probably lose. Hopefully that is not what happens this turn. All right, they mill. Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Because I was thinking that too. Like, oh, maybe you should buy the Mystical Archives. But... if it is printed at uncommon, then I'm not sure that it's actually... going to be all that good as far as like a financial plan. Opponent is Kanta's. Finds Baffling End. Cast set. Targets Thalia. Well, let's play Glorious Protector. Blank, 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 blank. What do you say, opponent? What do you say? Oh, I love MH2. I really do. I haven't seen a ton of stuff that I think is going to be absurd in Modern yet, but... Oh, I'm glad they attacked. I haven't seen a ton of stuff that I think is going to be insane in Modern, but I absolutely love the set. All right, everything returns. We get a clue. We strip your hand. Take a breeding pool. So our opponent does have the Teferi coming. Well, going to be interesting. This boar is annoying. Shutting down our clues is actually annoying. I mean, once upon a time, Jun might have played it. It seems like everything played it, but it was also free, which I think is a pretty big difference. Well, Thraben Inspector. If they hit a Wrath, though, it's just so bad. Is Kanta. Is Contest the card that is keeping our opponent in this game? I think otherwise we're picking him apart, but is Contest keeping him around? Opponent, Abundant Harvest. Let's see how good it is. Opponent's down to 9. They're down to 9. All right, Teferi for much mana. Draws a card, untaps, as Teferi's known to do. Opponent. Well, we'll make a 1/1. Callous Blood Mage. Draw a card. Hit you. Down to 6. Come on, deck. Hold. Hold. Oh, we could get this win. We're so close. No way! No way. Oh. Oh. Well, that is a sad ending. So sad. Now there's a fairy that we don't have an answer for, and if there's one thing I've learned in Magic, it is that a Teferi wins the game 100%. I mean, attacking all doesn't win us the game, and we just throw away multiple creatures. On the other hand, if we don't throw away our creatures, oh dear. If we don't throw away our creatures, then attacking all the next turn does win us the game. So I think that attacking all when we don't have lethal is pretty bad there. I think I think it puts us in a position where we can't win the game. Like, oh god, all right. Yeah, fair enough. Teferi wins. Attack all opened up a win next turn without a wrath. I mean, hitting our opponent is like, we had to win the next turn without a wrath anyway. Like, our opponent's at 6. We have 3 in the air. They have 2 creatures. We have 6 creatures. Like, attacking would just... So here's what I was thinking there. So we attack our opponent to 6. That puts them in the position where we win the game on our next attack. If we attack with everything, we put our opponent to like 3, but we lose creatures, and then maybe 3 or 4. But then we lose so many creatures that I don't believe we have lethal the next turn. So I think we have lethal anyway if they don't have a wrath. If we attack with everything, though, I'm not sure that we do. If you had attacked with all but 2 creatures... Well, wait. If we attack with all but 2 creatures... We didn't have that many creatures. Attack with 6 in the air each turn. We only have 1 flyer. How are we attacking for 6 in the air? I'm so confused. Well, Teferi's a good Magic card. I really like this deck, but sometimes your opponent sticks to Teferi and draws a Wrath. So what I would say is this hasn't been updated in a while. So if you do want to mess around with the deck, I would say Fracture, probably not good enough in the current meta. More Vanishing Verses seem good. Hard to bring in the third Thalia, so I think the sideboard can be tuned up a little bit. But I think the deck's actually very powerful. Unfortunately, we didn't get the win in that last one. But if you like grinding out value and Mana Tithing people, it is a pretty reasonable option, I think, for Historic. But oh, I don't think there's any new spoilers, which means on that note, I think that brings us to the end of our stream for tonight. Good news is we'll be back on Thursday for some more streaming. Hey, good game, Artski. So we'll be back on Thursday for some more streaming. In the meantime, check out the YouTube. There's tons of spoiler coverage. There's Modern Against Odds tomorrow. Tons of sweet stuff coming up on there. The replay YouTube as well if you missed any of the old streams. And one more reminder that our sponsor today is Card Kingdom. And if you need some Modern Horizons card of your own or other cards, you You get them at cardkingdom.com. Even get an MTG Goldfish sticker. Just let them know you want one. So thank you to Card Kingdom for supporting the show. Most importantly, thank you to all of you. Seriously, everyone, I appreciate you all so much. Thanks for hanging out, being awesome. We'll be back on Thursday for more fun. So until then, have a great night. Have a good Wednesday. Enjoy the MH2 spoilers. Thanks again for being awesome. And yeah, see you on Thursday.